And this is the truth. I don't mean this like I'm not disrespecting Tennessee, but South Carolina's defensive line gave us way more problems than Tennessee's did. And Tennessee played good against us. I'm just saying South Carolina's D line is legit.
And that's 14-6.
Yeah. All right, so we're live. Let me get it pulled up. All right, all right.
Wow.
What happened?
It's just a standard run play for Kentucky, and there was 3 Tennessee guys converging on him, and somehow he got skinny and got through him for 9 yards, but there is a flag down. I think it's coming back for holding.
Oh.
Clemson in a little bit of a struggle with Louisville right now.
It's crazy.
They're only up 7-3 in the second. SMU's beating Pitt 7-3.
Got that pulled up. All right. Let me start getting everything pulled up so we can start doing our deal. Fumbling Samson strikes again. I mean, this dude, you just literally said he's having the best career, like best year of any Tennessee running back ever.
He's 2 rushing touchdowns away from breaking a 100-year-old record.
Dude? Did you see the South Carolina quarterback?
He's about to snap it.
Hold on, yeah, watch this.
Spins
shit.
Away from the pressure, still running for his life.
How did he do that? I mean, it didn't do nothing crazy, but how the hell did he get out of that? All right, let me see. I'm trying to get things going here. Try to get things going. Sorry, y'all. Try to get things going. Keep an eye on the chat too, Riddle, for me while I'm getting this stuff. Uh-oh, he's bouncing it.
All right.
All right. You piece of shit. Sorry. What's up, everybody? I see Riddle in there.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
We watching the games. We watching. We got them all on right now. We got Texas A&M. We got South Carolina going at it. We got the Tennessee-Kentucky game. We got every one of them. We're trying to watch, keep up the scores. Like I said, we'll go live and do actual podcast portion later. But right now, we are trying to watch, observe, have fun, all that shit. Be right back, Riddle. Be right back. What's up, everybody? Saturday night. Oh, my God, the South Carolina guy. Ooh. You drink, Riddle.
I might even make me one of those tonight after the day I had.
Pulling up. I got a feeling, Riddle, there won't be many people on at 8:30. He said, "I hope Wallace fans are crying." Yeah, we're listening to them.
They are right now. Yeah. Tony will be in here in a little while. He's not happy at all.
Yeah.
I need to see if I'm coming through good on here.
All right. The Tennessee fan that we got.
Good.
Yeah, you're coming fine. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Tennessee fan that we've got on our little panel, or the both of them, they're both probably. One of them's probably not worrying right now. Roll Tide, brother. Roll Tide. How are you? Like I said, it's an easy week for us. We bye week. We didn't have shit to do. Georgia, my buddy's Georgia team right there. They struggled a hair. Oh, there it is. Oh. All right, Riddle. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're only about 5 seconds ahead of me.
That was huge.
Big personal foul at the end of it, too.
Yeah. Big. Big time. So just so people that aren't watching, I mean, South Carolina just picked up a great run, picked the first down, got hit out of bounds. Running back got hit out of the bounds, and they threw the flag. So now
That's quarterback. That's Sellers. That was just a straight QB draw.
Shit. Oh yes, Sellers is a stud, dude. Sellers is a stud. I like Sellers. Y'all share this. Get it. Let's get it out there to the peoples. All right, so South Carolina Sellers again. I know where to go there. Damn, they keep pushing him out of bounds too. Share it a lot. Hey, thanks, Bobby. We appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Like I said, 8:30, we're gonna dive into the podcast. We got a good show lined up for tonight. I mean, a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about in the sports world today. Well, I should say a lot to talk about in terms of college football. Roll Tide, Nick Saban. Hey, man. Hey, you send me an autograph, bro? Oh, dude. This kid's gonna be nasty, dude. Sellers is gonna be nasty, kid. It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything.
Oh man, he dropped it.
Yeah,
that was on the receiver right there.
I don't understand how he look. I mean, that's in the bread basket, bro. That's in the bread basket. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, thanks, Nick Saban. Hey, man, anything you give it, RTR, bro. Roll Tide, roll. Let's go. Roll Tide. Let's get it going. Hey, we're going to talk some football in a second. We're going to talk some football. We'll talk whatever y'all want right now. Like I said, we kind of just watching football games like you guys are, and we're trying to keep up. SMU beating Pitt 7-3 right now. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Sellers is
only
freak,
up on Louisville 7-3.
Sellers is a freaking freak. Oh, my God. Oh, dude, I thought he was going to break that. Damn.
Rice and Navy still in the delay.
We'll be right back. Hold on. We coming. We coming. We feel you now. Ricky, what's up, Ricky? All right, I'm coming back. Here we go. All right, so sorry, getting everything set up. Questions. Parker, you said who's your pick for SEC champion, dude? Right now, obviously a lot hinges on the season and hinges on what's happening currently. Texas A&M loses. They still have a realistic shot if they beat Texas, but I mean, if they lose South Carolina, the reality of them beating Texas is going to be, who knows? I mean, this tonight could prove huge. A night that most people thought was not going to be that substantial in terms of SEC matchups is proving to be very challenging for everyone. I mean, even Georgia, like I said, Georgia's as good as anybody in the country, I think. And you saw how that went today. I mean, I know he did. He lived it. Every minute of it.
Yeah.
And Riddle, Carson Beck still had awesome numbers if he just took those picks away. Take the picks away. I'm saying, like, if he took those picks away, his numbers were great.
I've got some things wrote down.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to obviously go over it right now, but I was just thinking.
His numbers were a little inflated. Like his completion percentage was terrible.
Yeah, he struggled today.
And his passing under pressure was, and then this has been an issue all year. And this guy's a senior and can't be having that. We'll talk about it here in a little bit, I'm sure. But
yeah, we don't have to get too deep into the nitty gritty. But
he threw behind. His demeanor on the sideline, I really didn't like.
Yeah,
like They say that he's one of those lead by example kind of guys, and if that's what you're leading by, then not a fan. And that fucking eye black pissed me off.
Oh
He
yeah,
has never
save
wore
that.
eye black in his life.
Save that for later. So the question was, who's your pick for
Looking at my
SC
play
champion?
sheet right now.
The question was, who is your pick for SC champion? And I say it's still Texas and Georgia. It's theirs until someone proves to me that it's not. So that's my opinion. And I guess I'm entitled to an opinion.
Well, depending on how these two games that I'm watching at the moment go,
Yeah.
that'll dictate a lot moving forward.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Big time games going on.
But as it stands, with LSU still having to play Alabama, that's a
huge
big one
game.
in the factor of who's going to go. Yeah. If Alabama wins that one, LSU's out. If LSU wins that one, A&M loses tonight, Tennessee loses tonight, LSU's, we're basically right back where we were because you only got Texas, Georgia, A&M, and LSU with one loss, and that's that tiebreaker scenario. So it would still be LSU and A&M.
What the hell happened in the South Carolina game? Like, why is he punting?
South Carolina got a field goal, and then it looks like got the ball back and just punted. So I'll have to check that in just a second because it looked
like a safety
14 to 6.
kickoff.
Now it's 17 to 6.
Yeah, but it looked like a kickoff, like a safety kickoff.
They got 3 points because they had the 2 touchdowns.
Kippy's back.
What up, Kippy?
Hey, you was nervous as shit early on, but hey, y'all did what we thought y'all were gonna do.
Alex said Florida Georgia was a great game. Depends on who you ask.
Thank you for the follow, Alex. Thank you for the follow. So just what he said, we kind of been talking all day back and forth, but flag after the TD. All right, cool. Thanks, Colby. Appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I'm watching. That's the one I'm watching right now. I just we're getting everything set up and everything for the chat. But Alex said he's a Gator. Yeah, y'all played good. I feel like
great game for y'all, man.
Yeah, Lagway going out hurt. I mean, that hurt. You could tell that kid was not ready.
The Yale transfer, yeah. That was tough because, Lagway wasn't spectacular statistically. I have a friend that's a Florida fan, and we were texting back and forth throughout the game. And, I said what he did wasn't all that, statistically wasn't all that great. But when he was in the game, they were controlling the time of possession. They had short field, so they didn't have to do. Lagway did hit the one big pass play. That was a beautiful pass. But he was able to keep drives going, keep the clock moving, and they were putting points up off of Carson Beck turnovers.
Texas A&M breakaway. That's a touchdown.
Le'Veon Moss.
Yep. It was bound to happen. But all right. Colby said, "At least we aren't Auburn fans. We all wake up every morning and thank the good Lord for that."
Hugh Freeze, I got an interesting little tidbit on him from earlier's game because I had 3 or 4 games going all day. I've really enjoyed my Saturday today because I didn't have nothing to do.
Yeah,
I made sure that I was watching football, taking my notes on games. Look how many that is.
Damn. Yeah, dude, I didn't pay attention as close as I should have because, said with everything's going on next week, I've been trying to get all that stuff done. But yeah, in all honesty, I guess we can talk about the Auburn game because, no, we can't because we'll have to review that, right? Vandy's not ranked anymore, are they?
Oh,
okay,
no.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about that game. But so let's talk about that game. That game was fantastic. If you're a Vanderbilt fan. Fantastic. Gus Malzahn's known for his offense, even though it sucked this year. And Vandy went in there and held Auburn to less points than Oklahoma did. That was at the Plains, man. That wasn't like it was in Vanderbilt. That was a true road game. And Auburn has some funny shit happen down there on the Plains. Me and you know, there is some funny shit that happens. And Vanderbilt, man, they did exactly what they needed to do to win. Good for them. But yeah, what's your tidbit?
So Vanderbilt's defense, I think, is kind of been overlooked all year. They've played really, really good football all year. And CJ Taylor, he's a local guy for us, and he got the game sealing forced fumble today. But Diego Pavia, dude, he's just a warrior. He's a winner, and
I like him.
Vanderbilt has literally been in every game this year, and even their losses. They lost double overtime to Missouri. They lost to Texas, but that was a battle that came down to the very end. Mm-hmm. And but my interesting stat that I looked up, because you know how I am with these weird facts and stats. So Brian Harsin was fired in his second season at Auburn for being 9-12.
Yep.
They hired Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze right now, after today's loss to Vanderbilt, is 9-13. So you fired one guy for being 9-12. Now the guy you got's 9-13. I'm thinking his seat's got to be pretty warm.
Yeah, and yeah, I would agree. Kippy said, "Is Kentucky winning?" I know you're watching that one.
Yes, they are.
I think it's still 7-0.
I believe. Yeah, I don't think Tennessee scored.
Yeah. So Kippy said, all I can say is if AP doesn't reward the Hoosiers this week, then we know it's all rigged. I mean, what do you think rewarding is? Like, here's the deal for me. This is the deal for me. This game was y'all's game is coming, okay? Y'all have a shot to go up there and beat Ohio State. That's where rubber meets the road. So all the shits all the rankings don't even matter. You go and beat Ohio State, it's going to be a top 5 team whenever you play them. You will be exactly where you need to be by the end of the year. I think we all can agree to that.
I will say this. I've got quite a bit of notes on Indiana, which, we'll cover here in a little while, so I don't want to say too much, but very, very slow start getting Rourke back into the swing of things, but they definitely balled out. And just for a score update, Louisville just took the lead on Clemson 10-7 with 5:42 left in the first half.
Holy crap. All right,
SMU has extended their lead to 14-3.
Damn, I picked Pitt too. Shit. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, Kentucky. that's the only other game that we have any differences on in the picks for this week.
It says a lot of 10-2s this year. Thank you for following, buddy. Thank you for following, Trey. They haven't played a single team yet. Yeah, but look where LSU is. They haven't beat anyone. Yeah, I mean, hotty toddy. We got hotty toddy from Alabama. I'm nervous myself about LSU just because it's LSU at night. We talked about that, and we'll give a really deep dive this week when we do our breakdown. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. Does Alabama have the talent to do it? Absolutely. We're like Georgia. We have the talent to do anything we want to do. It's can or do we execute? I mean, that's what it boils down to. I mean, I don't want to sit here and toot our horn because there's no point, but we have talent.
So as far as this pick goes,
they said Le'Veon Moss just went down for the season. That's what chat comment. Have you been?
It doesn't look like they're missing a beat because that guy just ripped off a huge one.
That's he said. Have you been on the Stephen Willis show? I can't remember if I saw your. No, I have not. No, I haven't. Oh, he got hurt in the first quarter. Oh, Le'Veon Moss just scored a touchdown, didn't he?
It says he left the game.
Okay. Well, my bad. I thought he was the one that scored the long run. I apologize.
I thought it was him, but it wasn't. It was a 20-yard run. He could not put any weight.
He said Amari Daniels scored it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not.
And then we've been trying to get all this set up, and we saw the run, but we just assumed it was Moss. Mm-hmm. It says that he broke a 20-yard run, and then he could not put any weight on his right leg and had to be helped into the injury tent.
That sounds terrible.
Looks like it. ESPN broadcast said the Aggies are looking at a right knee injury.
Man,
Amari Daniels will be handling most of Oregon's carries, and then EJ Smith is another player who may get some more reps. So
He said didn't look good. They called for a car. Yeah. So we were watching before we switched over. Thank you for sharing. Roll Tide Roll. Thank you for sharing. Before we came on here and started watching with you, I was watching the Tennessee game. Obviously, we got 2 Tennessee fans on the panel, and them not doing well. UT just blew a field goal. Them not doing well, obviously, is going to be much more.
I just
comedic.
watched that.
It'll be a lot more comedy in here if Tennessee doesn't do well because these Jordan's back. Jordan, I told you Tennessee was garbage. You right, brother. You right. I mean, Alabama's just worse. Garbage.
Yeah, so Tennessee's 0 for 2 on field goals in the red zone today. So
yeah, that's terrible.
Defense still looking pretty good outside of the one drive, but Gordon Saylor said, "I told you Tennessee was garbage."
He's back.
Cheers,
man.
Jordan.
Yeah, here. This one's for you, brother. Mm. Is that old crispy dick? Is that crispy dick?
Got the Mad Dog in here.
Mad Dog. This guy's a Cleveland Browns fan. Can't you tell? All right, let me see here. Hey, there's old Cleveland Brown.
Hey, yes.
What are you doing, Cleveland Brown?
Look at that beautiful man right there.
Hold on, Chris. I gotta get you set up real quick.
Kentucky update for Trey. Kentucky's still up 7-0. Tennessee just missed their second field goal.
Yeah, I hope for comedy's sake that they miss a couple more so we can listen to Tony bitch about it.
I hope they miss a couple more too, so I can get all these good big old lick my. Never mind, we're live.
Yeah, it's you can say it now. I think I've heard enough crazy shit on here that I don't think you can do anything to get us kicked off. I don't know. Maybe you can.
So
I don't know.
4-2.
We're just gonna be funny and we're gonna let it roll. That's what we're gonna do. I don't give a shit.
So there's a route. There's a route in the picks where all 3 of us tie this week with 3 losses in our picks.
I know Illinois is lost, so that's my only loss right now, ain't it?
Iowa State and Kansas State.
What? Kansas State lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa State and Kansas State.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think we all picked that though.
Yeah, we did. That was a sweep loss across the board.
Yeah, I mean, nobody thought that. Well, Tony thought Kansas State was going to lose because he bet his wagon on that shit last week and they sucked. I got you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see here.
Kentucky right now is 2nd and 28 from their own 3.
Oh my God.
And now it's going to be 3rd and 26 from their own 5.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's see here. Kentucky update. All right, there we go. Yeah. Let's see here. Appreciate if you picked A&M. I need that mystery juice. Oh, that mystery juice. It's not a mystery. It's just bourbon. It's no mystery. It's just bourbon.
What is yours, Brendan?
Mine is that Green River weeded.
Yeah, that's what mine was. That's what mine was.
I know what yours is.
Aqua.
What is it?
It's water.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking water.
Hey, Chris, I got one of those too. Chris, here's my water cup.
mine was water at one point. It started with water.
I've had drank in a month, so
score update for you, Brandon. And this is for Chris too, because this is the only game that matters the rest of the way for our standings and for all 3 of us to tie. SMU is now up 21-3 on Pitt.
I know. That's what I get, man. I picked Syracuse last week and y'all swept me, and then I'm nervously picked. I told you Pittsburgh was 5-0 against the spread at home. Our SMU was 5-0 against the spread at home, and I was sitting there like, I'm gonna pick. Fuck that! I ain't gonna. Not again. Got caught with my pants down.
And then you did it anyway.
I know.
Tennessee just muffed the punt, but recovered it.
Oh. He said SMU was a lock. Huh? I don't know, man. Pittsburgh was good. I mean, last week. I mean, turnovers.
I got a breaking news for you, and I want you to remember this, Brandon, for when he gets on. Tony, in a separate group chat, literally just said this team misses goalish, apparently.
Oh, I told you, I got mass respect for that guy. I mean, I don't know what.
For sure.
Okay, so we can go ahead and talk about this now. What the hell happened with the handshake? What the hell happened with the handshake?
Golish was not happy for
What happened?
whatever reason. I have no idea. I didn't get to see it. I just saw the handshake at the end, and he literally shook his hand and just kept walking and ripped his hand away. And then oh fuckhead went after him. Herman's such a dick.
Yeah. So let's see here. Is Bama making the playoffs?
No. Hell no.
Let's see what happens next week. So
Hell no. They'll get the ass whooped next week.
he's a Bama fan too, saying that. So we've seen enough of this team. We don't want to get our hopes up. I mean, it is what it is.
I didn't watch one fucking second of that game last week. I ain't watching that sorry ass team no more. Fuck them.
Duke let me down today. I called that a win, and dude. We was all rooting for Duke. I mean, we picked Miami, but we did not want to.
I don't think it's so much Duke had a second half letdown as much as Cam Ward went the fuck off in the second half.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cam Ward's been, like I told you earlier, like in the 7 games in a row at the start of the season with over 300 yards passing. The dude's just absolutely. Arnold Palmer says naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about it. I can talk about it now. So,
about what? Oh, Alabama? Alabama fucking sucks.
Arnold Palmer says
Jalen Milroe.
No, Arnold Palmer says naysayers. I'm gonna tell you what, the biggest naysayer better be Jalen Milroe, because if he thinks he's played good and he's played anywhere near first round capability, he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. And I've been a Bama fan my whole life.
I can't play football.
Yeah, I've been a Bama fan my whole life, and I'm gonna tell you that guy right there makes a lot. Hey, thank you, Arnold Palmer. That guy makes a lot of mental errors, guys, and we just got to call it what it is. You can't be afraid to say, "Hey, he's got to improve." I hope he's saying that. I hope he's looking in the mirror going, "You got to do better." I hope he is. I mean, just like I hope Carson Beck left the field today and looked at himself, said, "I'm going to wipe this damn eye black off, and I'm going to look at myself in the mirror, and I'm going to say, I'm going to get better next week." I hope so.
The only reason Georgia won that game is because the quarterback got hurt.
Chris Code is swinging in punches.
I don't know if that's the only reason they won that game.
The only reason they won that fucking game.
All right. Different team. There'll be a different team coming out of the bye. Arnold, I have said that. I said they do a good job coming after the bye. But the problem is we still don't know. We still got a suspect secondary, and we still have not put together a consistent offensive performance. I mean, not really.
We're still talking about that shitty ass team. They suck.
Yeah, LP just said go Dogs, but what's with Beck throwing into double coverage? I'm going to get into that in here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably because he sucks.
It's inexcusable. It's a lot like Alabama's situation, really, because you got a senior quarterback who's been around, and he's making a lot of mistakes that he shouldn't be making, and it's inexcusable.
Yeah, he should be better than that. Milroe should be better than what he is, but it's unfortunate that they're not. So, Tennessee looking like garbage truck coat.
No, they're not good enough to be called garbage. No, I'm garbage, but they ain't good enough to be called garbage.
Antonio Brown trash, guaranteed.
We're all garbage, according to Joe Biden.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we all are that. Let's see here. Tennessee's driving across midfield. SMU just. Let's see here. Tennessee will win game. Probably. I mean, Tennessee's definitely a more talented team than Kentucky. I mean,
let's hope not.
And they're at home. But yeah, I hope for the sake of just pure entertainment that they lose. It will be a shit show in here.
Even if they do win, all these Tennessee fans are talking about going to the playoffs. The only reason you're going to the playoffs is because they expanded to 12 teams, because all your fucking losing programs that never could make a 14 playoff because they're not good enough oh, now we can make the playoffs because we can have 2 losses and make the playoffs. Yeah, guess what? You're still going to lose because you suck.
This
It
is
doesn't even
great.
matter. You're
This is
still
great.
going to lose because you suck.
Hey, welcome. So for those of y'all that ain't seen or met Chris,
That's why they made a 12-team playoff so they can have all these losing programs that can't win jack shit into the playoffs now. Hey, now we can make more money. They're not going to win because they still suck because they couldn't actually get into a playoff when you actually had to win every freaking game you played, except for maybe one. Now they can lose 2, maybe 3 and get in. But guess what? You ain't going to do shit because you still suck.
No 3-loss team will get in.
No, I'm just saying that's the only reason they got that because all these sorry ass programs that can't fucking get into a playoff. When it actually takes a good season to get into the playoffs, working on every game matters. Now every game does not matter. So now all these losing programs can get into the playoffs and lose like what they would do anyway. So,
all right. Like I said, if everybody out there, if you haven't liked and followed, please go ahead and do that.
who has one verb, one objective, one noun, and one sentence? Who the fuck you talking about?
Oh man! Like I said, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. Try to build the community up. Chris is this is Chris for those of y'all that ain't seen him yet.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not upset or anything, but that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Tennessee would never make the playoff if it won 12 teams. So, period. They're trash.
We can bring that up later. That's a sore subject for Tony and Jordan. We can bring up 2022 and how they were right there on
They know that too. They know that too. It ain't like I'm saying something that's not known.
Now they just they don't want
to admit it.
Hold
but
on,
they know it.
Tony will admit it. Tony's been admitting it all night. So Tony was admitting it all night.
That's a good throw by Nico. Their first and goal.
Damn. Well,
at the 6, it looks like. They marked him at the 8.
Louisville's about to score again too.
Oh shit, we got to do this thing.
What is it? What thing?
The thing, the light thing. I forgot.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I gotta do that too. Jordan Saylor says Jordan mad because his Razorbacks got tossed today. Jordan probably will be mad. Jordan probably will be. You didn't, Chris. I don't know.
One guy had 5 touchdowns, didn't he? One receiver had 5 touchdowns.
I don't know if you watched it the other night, but Jordan Saylor came on here and said Jordan Elkins looked like a big Arkansas fan. This whole thing just went.
He asked him who his team was.
Yeah.
No, it was on the live. They asked Jordan asked Jordan who his favorite team was because he looked like a Arkansas fan sitting there on his front porch in the rocking chair.
Who's mad because the Razorbacks got tossed today?
Jordan.
Let's talk about Jordan.
Yeah, we're just literally telling you the story.
Last week.
Our Jordan or this Jordan?
This Jordan told our Jordan that he looked like an Arkansas fan.
Oh, okay.
Sitting on his porch in the rocking chair.
There was another dude last week. His name was Go Vols, and he came in and he just was telling jokes left and right, and just knocking on Alabama and Tennessee, everybody. That was funny too. Yeah, Jordan. Jordan probably is a little tore up. Arkansas got beat. He probably a little down.
He should be on soon.
He should have some bacon though. He may get on. They may not. I don't know if they'll be watching the game and just say F it. Chad says if Lagway doesn't go down, Georgia loses today. Ooh,
yeah, I already had that conversation with him. I already had that conversation with him.
Jordan said Starlink is down again.
Starlink.
Yeah, that's
like a guy from Star Wars or something.
No,
he just got off work 45 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm. That's that government handed out. What do you call it? That's that government handed out internet, Chris. Starlink.
Oh, they actually give out free internet?
No, they were giving it out. Elon owns that.
He was that's right. Yeah. It's giving out to the hurricane people.
Yeah.
They're showing the memo on the faking injuries on the screen right now on the Tennessee game.
I got to turn it on. I don't see it yet.
Because it's 3rd and goal at the 1 yard line, and a Kentucky guy went down and was just kind of grabbing at his calf type deal.
Well, I mean, I get you can't. I get you can't fake an injury. I get that, but yeah, he jumped. That was a false start. He jumped too. He lifted his back up.
Ain't no call. That's Tennessee.
I know how it goes. I understand. We've all been there and seen it.
Sampson hasn't been in the game for this entire drive. I'm wondering if he got hurt or something because Lewis just scored the touchdown.
LP said, "Good to see Nate Frazier got the load today." Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
God
ETN
you
taking
had
that shot
depth.
to the ribs. He went out, never returned, and so Frazier being the freshman, he looked good rushing. That's I think the 2nd most rushing yards an individual player has had for Georgia this season. So
it just goes to show you depth. Depth is huge. I mean, you got to have that depth if you're going to compete. We're going to get in. Like I said, we're going to try to get started. We're going to see if they're going to join up around 8:30. Once we get the full panel on, we'll get going. We'll get started. But in reality,
that's Tennessee's first points in the first half in the last 3 games.
Louisville just scored.
Now that's a playoff team right there. We can't score in the first half in 3 games. We're going to playoffs. Fuck out of here. Sorry ass fucking team.
All right. Y'all hold it down. I'm going to get a drink. Chris, be tapping that screen.
I got half.
Right, be right
I got
back.
more than half of them. Tapping shit, motherfucker. No, bro, you can't call me back, brother.
Oh, the other day I was asleep when you tried to call me the other day.
I'm just calling to make sure you're all right, because that one little thing y'all did or had or whatever. Can't call no one back. Thought we were friends. I guess not, man. That's cool.
I had Rye, or what day was that? It was Sunday.
Yeah, I think it was the day after. I think it was Sunday.
Yeah, I took a nap, had Rye, and then got dealing with her, getting her ready for school the next day and all that, getting the shower and stuff, and then I worked those next 2 days, and no, we were good,
Well, there's a lot of things you could do. There's a lot of things you could do to like work on your confidence and stuff. I just want to talk
I
to you about that. Stuff you can do just to help, so you don't think like that. How you said you think sometimes.
Yeah. Always been a struggle, but it's not.
Yeah, I understand.
Like,
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a conversation that needed to be had, and it was had, and everything's good now.
Yeah. But like, if you really do struggle with stuff like that, you can always do stuff to help with that. I struggled with that for a long time.
Yeah,
I still do sometimes. Not with weight, just with confidence.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Tony just texted us and said first score in the first half by the Vols since the Oklahoma game. Actually, it was before the Oklahoma game. They didn't score against Oklahoma either.
Did Oklahoma win today?
Oh yeah, they ended up rolling. It was interesting early.
What did he say? Let's see here. Didn't mean to hit that, Jordan. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Oklahoma won 59-14.
Oklahoma. I haven't even looked. I've really just been looking at the top 25. I mean, yeah, they pulled away. Good job for Vandy, though. Vandy is bowl eligible, boys. They are bowl eligible.
How were they an underdog today? I didn't understand how they were underdog. That's pretty lame.
I think because it was out on the plains, and Auburn's like Tennessee, dude. Crazy shit happens there. The great pump, Chris. Who's your team? Who's your team? He can't tell. He can't tell with that hat on. He don't know who your team is.
Alabama fan. Don't worry about my hat, man. My hat's funny. I like my hat. I wore it to the gym today.
Looks like Arizona State's going to double up Oklahoma State. That game's finally about to go final after all the delays.
Jordan, his team,
Navy and Rice still in a delay.
his team is Alabama.
I said that right. I said Alabama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
Go McKinley. Go. All right. Yeah. Yeah. He probably did. I probably didn't hear it.
A&M just took the lead.
A&M, who was that playing South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
That's 2017.
Yeah. Yes. Then y'all got to go back downstairs.
Is that your daughter? Real? Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell her to get off the lot.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, that looks like right. That looks like McKinley.
He's all right.
Yeah, so they're having a sleepover.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
McKinley, go downstairs. What are you doing? What? I can't hear you. All right. All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. All right. So where are we at? Are they going to
Almost
show?
another pick by Tennessee.
Oh, another pick?
Almost.
Oh.
He didn't catch it. But there is a flag down.
I was roughing the passer. Anyways.
Oh.
All right. Yeah,
A thousand more likes.
I need to go get my glasses. Who holds the ball? Kentucky? Oh, yeah.
Kentucky's got it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Good job.
And A&M's kicking off with 1:08 left in the first half.
Brody, if you're going to be
Is
in here, you
anybody
gotta
else
quiet.
flanking it? Because I've just been sitting here tapping by myself, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm sitting here doing it right now.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I just added another 1,000.
That's what I'm doing.
Well, you're used to that.
Tapping the screen? What are you trying to get at? Tapping the screen has nothing to do with what you're trying to get at.
Hold on. This is how you're tapping the screen. That's what you just did.
No. Montalvo said, great game. If Lagway doesn't go down, Gators win that game. I'm not going to go that far and say that, but it would have definitely – it could have played out differently. I mean, we'll go over it here in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally a couple of minutes away. We're going to start our podcast portion of the evening, and we're going to start talking about the today's games and kind of where everything laid out. Yeah, so just looking at it, let's see here. Kentucky had another player go down, probably a fake injury. Texas A&M scored. They're up.
Yep, 2017. That guy looks like he's heading to the locker room. That looks like it was a legit injury.
Yeah. So looks like South Carolina, the magic is running out right now. What else we got going on? Pitts.
Genty whooping ass.
He did do well, but I don't think it's enough. I think the whole thing for him to actually win it was going to be chasing down the Berry record and coming close to that.
He's only like 150 yards off pace right now. And that's just with regular season games.
Okay.
Like 150, 200, something like that.
He might then. Let's see. Where's he at? He's at 1,500 yards right now. And they got
That's what, 2,800 is Barry's record.
that's 26-32 or something like that. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Jordan. I think Cam Ward's done enough now. I think he didn't play anybody. He has nobody to play left. And so, like, I mean, neither does Genty really, but I'm just saying, like, it'll be interesting.
I'll tell you what, that Miami defense
It's terrible.
They got some serious issues.
Well, I guess that's good for him, though, because, I mean, because you think about it, if they were up 30 points against everybody, then he would just be playing coast and hand the ball off. He gets to get 400 yards a game because they're literally having to try to score to keep up with everybody. I mean, reality.
That was like today. He only had 138 yards at the half.
Yeah, I mean, he stepped up. I mean, he stepped up. Like I said, I don't know. I think we went over it earlier this week, but his schedule is just set up to where I don't necessarily understand how he won't get it. But Genty's numbers do look good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they do look good.
I think what hurt him is those last two games. He still did good. I think he rushed for over 150 or close to it in both of them. I know he did this week, but he's just that average yards per carry and the explosive plays have kind of fell off, and I think that's why he's been passed up by some of these bigger program guys.
I think you're right. Hey, this drink is for Jordan Saylor. It's delicious. All right. I don't know if these guys are going to show up or not. Jordan probably will.
I sent a text.
Chris.
He probably rushed home, taking a shower, and trying to get set up.
Chris, so in the meantime, while we're sitting here, while we're talking about this, we notice you're not texting in the group text.
It's just annoying. I've looked down. I have 300 messages. I'm at the gym trying to work out. Come on, what the fuck? It's just annoying. So
we're gonna
take an hour to get caught up at that point.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I have to read them all because we've got a lot of stuff going on in there as far as like I said, stats and stuff. But that's I figured. I noticed you weren't responded. I was like, oh yeah, it's probably. So who is winning it all this year? Comment.
All right, Oregon.
I don't know. Oregon looks like a soft fuck to me. They look like they're candy asses, but
What is it gonna be?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sure got beat today by a sorry ass Florida team.
I know. I don't necessarily know. I don't have the answer, Chris. I don't know.
And Georgia lost to a even sorry Alabama team. So
yeah, I mean,
but yeah, like I don't know.
We're sorry, Chris, but I think we would absolutely be able to run with them. Maybe not beat them, but we'd be able to run with them all game. And we're not a good team.
I think Oregon's gonna win it all.
I mean,
beat them.
But we've been there, like every game we've played, we've been right there. So it's not like we've been out of any game.
It don't matter when one of those games is Vanderbilt.
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Let's see.
We hung with them. We hung with Vandy. We almost got them, but God damn.
What was it? What was that stat I sent you earlier? It's the first time Vandy had beat both teams from Alabama since like '65.
Who's Oregon played today? Mufford High? No, actually they played Michigan.
Oh,
they did play Michigan.
That's Munford High North.
I know, kind of a dick move what they did there at the end of the game too.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see that one. Ryan said, "Go Dogs." Look like shit today, but oh well. Yeah.
I hate that a win's a win mentality, but for
some reason, every one of them have come upstairs. Anyway, and they don't know how to not scream. Georgia, to be truthful with myself, and I hate it. Jordan says Georgia. Jordan said Georgia wins it all.
Georgia ain't winning it all.
I like that pick, but there's some holes. There's a lot of holes.
There's a lot of holes in every team. 100%.
The 2 years that Georgia,
there's no real dominant team this year.
No, you're right.
That's what I was about to say. The 2 years that Georgia won it, they were clearly talent-wise probably the best team in the nation. This year, I mean, if you just look each week what happens in the top 25 and how close these games are, there really is nobody that's standing out right now as the clear-cut favorite. You know, there a few weeks ago we thought it was Texas, but then Georgia went in there and just handled them at Texas. So,
and then Vandy, Vandy only lost by 3 against them.
Yeah. So
they made that a game.
I'll throw out a name. And y'all are gonna say, "Oh no, they did this, they did that." But I'm gonna throw out Ohio State as a shot. Oregon beat them at home at night by 1 freaking point. You take away the 3-point advantage for home field. Ohio State looks like they can run with them, but
Ohio
they're
sucks.
going to play again.
You're
They're going to
you're
play
also
again.
the guy that said Carson Beck was a dark horse Heisman candidate when soon.
If he just got rid of his picks, he would be. I mean, the dude's throwing lights out. His yards are like impressive, but he just can't hit.
If it was one game, I would agree with you, but he's thrown 11
Yeah,
in the last 5 games.
I know. I just said I told you straight up. If he turns it around and he does what he needs to do in all these games.
There's Georgia Tennessee
James
play
Mosley
next week?
said,
What is it?
not next week.
Is that not next week?
James Mosley said Alabama for the Natty.
That's
Get
not
out of
happening.
people's face.
So we can move right on after that. That's not happening. No.
No, Georgia plays Ole Miss next week, Chris.
Ole Miss. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he said half his picks. Ryan said half his picks aren't his fault. I'm not gonna sit there and disagree. Like, there's always more to it than just somebody throwing a bad pass. But some of the ones today were pretty bad. We'll agree.
All 3 of the ones today were 100% his fault.
Yeah, we'll agree. I mean, you know,
All 3 of them.
that's the thing. I mean, South Carolina tied up A&M at half. There's 2020, so back to 0. Yeah, in all honesty, like Alabama, we have the same thing. We have Jalen Milroe, who, instead of doing what he needs to do with the football, will try to force throws. He'll take needless sacks, step back into the end zone when he doesn't have to, and take a safety. That's what Milroe does. Carson Beck's not that bad, but he has been terrible as of late as far as his decision making. So I'm telling y'all, Milroe, and right now what I've seen, Milroe and Beck, if they would have came out last year, would have probably went higher than the way it's setting up now. That's my opinion. I mean, and I was on the Beck train. I was like, hey, man, he can turn it around, have a good second half of the year, and because he's got big games left. Carson Beck had the best resume to go out, and if he pat, God damn it. Sorry.
Is mine a part of that?
No, it's mine. My 2 won't be quiet. And he's bothering her and making her scream. And no, it's not yours. Anyway.
I was about to make a phone call if I
No.
needed to.
No. I don't know why everyone
What are you doing over there?
everyone had to
Yeah.
everyone had to come. I come upstairs. Everyone come upstairs. I don't understand it. All right. Anyway, no big deal. I apologize. Like I said, not my big thing is like no matter what, Brody just keeps bothering people. That's what he's doing. So
Oh, man,
anyway,
it's never on. So
I mean, so this one's for y'all too.
Yep.
James Mosley said, "When Bama's on, nobody can beat them. The Georgia game proved that. Georgia's the second best team in football."
but here's the
And he
deal.
said, and he said that being said, he will probably lose to Auburn.
Well, the Auburn game's at home, so we have a good history when we play Auburn at home. It's usually very good for us. But the problem is, Mosley, we haven't played a complete game all season, not one time. So,
Not even the Georgia game.
yeah, we can't sit there and say we can't
that's
say
another
that.
Georgia game. They came back and
Yeah,
came back and
yeah.
took the lead.
Played a very
Definitely
complete
back.
first half. A very complete first half for y'all in the Georgia game, but then it went away in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm all for it, man. When we sit here and we start, all right. when we play our brand of football, me and Riddle just talked about this. We have as much talent as anybody in the country. We have as much talent as anybody. The problem is we don't execute. It has nothing to do with anything else other than execution. All right. Anyway, I guess Riddle will give it. We're gonna give it probably till 8:40.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I
I
mean,
text them both, but they haven't replied.
everybody knows the deal, and like I said, the big thing is if they want to do it at a later time because of a game, they need to just tell somebody. That's the thing, just. But at the same time, you can watch the game, and I don't know. It is what it is.
I'm
Like
giving Jordan the benefit of the doubt just because he had to work today, but
yeah. Well, and dude, the whole purpose of this is we can all just jump in here and have it. We don't have to have everybody. That's why we can throw right through it. We can do it. One half and one big play, do the job. I mean that's true. That's true, Mosley. But that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you've got to have consistent play, and that's why we lost to Vanderbilt. That's why we lost to Tennessee, because when we needed consistency and when one side of the ball was struggling, we didn't have it. That's the issue. Kentucky TD coming?
it's 4th and 2 right now. 33 seconds left in the half. I imagine they'll just take the points here.
Man, Vandergrift got face paint on too. Look, man, he learned that from Carson Beck.
Fucking shit pissed me off so bad.
Oh man, you
So mad.
all day long Riddle was sitting here mad because he had face paint on. He's like, "Why the hell's this guy got face paint on? He never painted his face."
Never. He's never done that.
Oh my
And then
god!
he goes out there with those 3 fucking picks today, and then just sitting over there on the sideline.
Kippy says that's why they're undefeated right now. Consistency. I agree. Indiana's playing fun football.
They'll go.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
I got excited. The guy said touchdown. I was like, man, there's a field goal.
Yeah, they got stopped. I mean, they were moving it. They drove straight down the field there right before the half, but stalled again.
Saban did have some magic. Saban had an ability to keep teams on their toes.
What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy in the chat at work.
Mr. Littlebeard in the building. What's that? Yeah, hey, that's Jeremy. Did you see that? Did you see that TikTok I sent you?
Who has the littlest?
Yeah.
What's on your wrist? You hurt your wrist?
Yeah, I gotta try to avoid surgery.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy, that dude right there, like that's you in Call of Duty. That's Call of Duty, man. It's like that's you right there.
What dude?
The postman, the one I sent you on TikTok. What up, little stank of booty? Peep the fit real quick. Peep the fit. This dude's driving like a 2004 Mustang. He's like, check out my ride. I mean, that dude's funny as hell. All right. So Tennessee, can Tennessee make a miracle field goal? Can they make a miracle field goal?
I'm surprised Jeremy's awake at work. There's like 9 people there. If I was him, I'd be sleeping upstairs.
Hey, I'm glad you here, Jeremy. We take all kinds. We'll take you sleeping. We don't care. Like I said, we're about to get started.
Jordan said he may jump on for a second during halftime.
Oh. Okay.
Dude, does anybody else have a problem here lately with fucking flies in your house? Because I'm like, I can't get rid of them, bro.
Yeah,
I'm being dead ass. I killed like 40 flies last weekend, and there's more in here.
It's that time of year, dude.
I bet it's never been this bad. Like, never.
Yeah.
I'm killing flies like every fucking time I'm fucking walking around. There's fucking, I don't know. I mean, I'm serious. I didn't know if it was like a problem like in around this area that or something, because I've never had this many flies. But,
what is this? That's not it. Where's my notes at? It's Yellow Jackets in Talladega lately. Oh man, Talladega. That sounds nice.
Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. What somebody said.
Big completion for Tennessee. They try to get points before the hell.
Why would I black out because of flies? I'm being serious though, bro. Man, I got hella flies, bro. I just killed like 10 before I got on this motherfucker. Huh? I got the wasp spray out and I was trying to kill them, so I got tired of swatting at them.
Oh, that was a horrible spot. Holy shit. We're going to run out of time. Nico's going to do it again.
Oh, he did it. He did it. Oh, he did the one thing he couldn't do.
There should be time because it was a first down. The clock should stop. They're going to have to get ready to snap this, though. There should be 2 seconds left.
They remember they marked off the first down. That spot
No,
they marked him short.
They let them get another. They let them get another play. It looks like, but they are
Alright.
short.
Yeah, there was
first
two.
down.
No,
Okay,
they're
okay.
just picking
I
up.
got you. I got
One
you.
second. What are they doing? Okay, they snapped it.
Why are they in the?
What
No, they
happened?
didn't. They didn't get it off.
I don't know.
Oh wow! Why were they in the shotgun? First of all, you got 2 seconds. Fucking
Oh, my
spike
God,
the
dude.
ball and then throw the Hail Mary.
Said what are we
We're gonna
watching?
reset it.
We're
hold up.
watching
What's
the
happening
Tennessee Kentucky before the halftime, Kippy. We're watching the this piss poor clock management. Courtney, what's up?
They're trying to reset the clock.
Hey, Courtney.
Tennessee.
Does Courtney know how to like stitch stuff?
She's
Like my seat in my truck in the very middle. There's like a part coming apart. And I don't know
That's
what
poor
to do
clock
with it.
management from Nico. Cost the Tennessee Vols some points there at the half. That's not going to make Jordan and Tony happy.
Makes me happy though.
Yeah, I mean, of course. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started.
He definitely slid down with 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah. No, I mean, 100%. Like I was just like, it's weird though. Like clock showing SMU has scored again. Pitt is no match.
I think that's SMU, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think you did. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, I don't need any talking right now, okay? All right. Here we go. We're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and jump into this riddle, and we're going to go down the old college football scoreboard. Just got to find my notes real quick. Give me a second.
I think if you give it just another minute, Jordan may hop in, or you can go ahead and get it started, and then he can just jump in when he gets here.
Okay. God, please stop it. Where my stuff is. I don't know how to do this. I don't understand why. Still don't have it. Brody.
Ambulance. Kibby said ambulance on the field at Pitt SMU. Someone got hurt bad. Said there's an ambulance on the field
Really?
on the Pitt game.
All right, let's see. I got my notes pulled up now. All right. Riddle, you want to wait? Or I'm good. I don't care. I can wait a little bit, but
I mean, you can go ahead and start it. I don't know if Tony or Jordan, either one's going to actually come on. I know Jordan said he might hop on. So
I'm gonna tell these kids to. If you're crying about 2 seconds of that one. I mean, I'm not crying about shit. Somebody else cried. I ain't crying about shit.
Exactly, Jordan. Exactly.
that's a good point.
We're all tickled shitless.
Somebody,
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Got messed up in the Pitt game. Some dude from, I think it's a SMU guy. He's
Got to him kid or something.
Huh?
And then got up and he's carrying kids out of the room. I said you're about to see him suplex a kid back there.
Oh, he got up and carried him? Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think he carried Brody out. No. We know, Jordan. We know. But it was a great point, to be complaining about the 2 seconds and all that. You're down to Kentucky at home at night.
I knew that. I told everybody to bet on Kentucky. That I knew Tennessee wouldn't cover. I thought they would win, but there was no way they're covering 17.5.
See,
that's free money.
Yeah,
Andy was free money.
Kentucky's defense has played pretty well, but I mean, like I said, they've been Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde too, just like Georgia has. But yeah, we got the Tennessee game at 15.5. I don't know what it closed out. I didn't pick it up.
Do y'all know James Mosley? Or is he just some follower? Do y'all know him in person?
No, we don't. He's a follower.
No.
He said, I'll jump on if y'all need one-sided bias opinion. Roll Tide.
All right. Sorry about that.
So did you carry them all out of the room, or did you suplex a couple, or?
Let's see. What happened?
I said, Did you carry them all out of the room, or did you suplex
just
a couple, drop kick some?
Just my boy, the one that was, he was sticking his butt right in my daughter's face, And I'm like, what? I don't know. It's all right. I'll jump on if y'all need.
Melvis McKinley.
Mosey said, "I'll jump on if y'all need a one-sided bias opinion real time." All right, here we go. We're gonna get going here. Like I said, they can join in, and we can obviously pick them up relatively easy. So give me a brief silence, and then we will get started. 105. Write that down, Riddle. Write down 105. All right, welcome back to Lock, Loaded, and Goated. My name is Brandon Andrews. I'm your host this evening, and we got with me currently Chris at the top. We got Jeff Riddle in the middle there, and you got me. And we probably have a couple of Tennessee fans coming in and out trying to give their opinions. They're a little upset right now. They're getting beat at halftime by Kentucky. So with that said, we'll just we'll pick them up as they come in. But this is Lock, Loaded, and Goated, and this is the Saturday night weekend wrap up. We are watching all the games you guys are watching, trying to keep up with everything. And again, we're trying to just kind of get some breakdown of what we saw today, and then obviously keep up with everything and talk football with you guys. So with that said. I'm sorry, the comments get to me already. Jordan, it's Brandon Andrews. So Andrews, not Andrew, but you can't trust the man with two first names.
I like it.
We'll cut you. We'll cut you. I don't know. We're weird like that. All right. With that said, so going into the games of the day, I don't want to get into the marquee matchups. I don't want to do that yet. What I want to do is I want to go down the list and I want to look at the games that we said were important, the top 25 games, and I want to break those down one by one, and then we will handle we'll handle the that as we go along. So first game, Riddle. Actually, we'll start with Chris. He's up top. He feels like, I feel like he needs to say something. He looks like he's raising his hand. He needs to say something about Boise State and San Diego State at Boise State. Chris, what'd you see? Anything you liked? Anything you didn't like?
Yeah, I was at work, so I didn't really get to watch much of it. But I've seen the final score, so I really don't have much to say about that, to be honest with you, because I couldn't watch it.
It's all right. It's all right. Riddle, anything stand out to you?
Boise State's quarterback play. I called him out a couple weeks ago, because they've rode Genty this whole season, and I said if they ever got into a game where they needed him to win it, could he win it? I wasn't saying that he's a bad quarterback, but last night he went 24 of 32 for 307, 4 touchdowns, no picks, and then had 4 carries for 25 yards as well. Because Genty ran for 31 and 149 and 2 scores, but Maddox Madsen really played really well. So
I was surprised that they beat him. They beat him so bad. I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot closer.
Yeah,
I did too. But Madsen lit it up, and he did so early and often. So, and it's probably a great strategy for Boise State moving forward because they got the best running back in the nation. So teams are going to try to stack the box on them.
And just FYI, Mosley said all he heard was "Go Dogs."
I saw it.
I mean,
that's right.
Hey, yeah. Sometimes Mosley, when he talks, we got a special filter. All we hear is.
Tell Mosley to hop in Discord, jump in if you want to come in.
I'd have to send him an invite, Chris, and that's a whole different. It's not easy. I'm just saying, I know, but I don't even know how to go find that easily. I wish I did. I need to have that at the ready more, but I don't. All right. Well, okay. So we moved on from the game that didn't matter. We're going to go to the game that did. And what we're going to start with, because I'm not going to start with the big one. What I'm going to start with is Miami against Duke. So here we go. Miami, Duke, Chris, I don't know if you get to watch it or not, but what did you think about the old Hurricanes?
I watched a little bit of it. I wasn't really impressed at all. I mean, they should have beat them by at least They should have blown them out. Duke is not very good. And the last I saw it, I didn't finish watching the game. I was at the gym, and it was like 39-31. I think Duke was only losing by 7 or 8.
Yeah,
And I I think Miami should have beat them pretty bad, honestly, and it was pretty close.
yeah. All right, Riddle, what'd you think? What'd you see?
Well, they pulled away late. The score looks a lot better than what the actual game was. But yeah, Miami's defensive struggles continued again. They were down 21-17 at the half. Cam Ward was only 12 of 24 for 138 and 2 touchdowns. The thing that stood out for me is Duke, their first 3 drives, they went punt, interception, punt. And then after that, over their next 3 scoring drives, they had 5 plays over 20 yards. They were big playing them to death.
Yeah.
But, Cam Ward did finish 25 of 41 for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns and a pick. So he's cementing himself at the top of that Heisman race.
Yeah. And here's a
Miami
great...
played.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think if Miami plays a top team like Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, I don't think they're going to be able to keep the game close. Maybe it's in the first half, but I don't think they're going to be hanging with those teams throughout the full game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it continues going the way it is, they'll have to play Clemson in the ACC championship game, and I don't even know if they can win that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, I don't see them beating Clemson right now. I really don't. Not with the way that defense is just been
Defense struggling.
been really, really bad. Like worse than Alabama. And that's saying something.
Yeah. Jordan Saylor said Miami doesn't have a defense game after game, and that's proven. So if I told you that Cam Ward was 25 of 41 for 400 yards and the guy on the other side of the ball, Malik Murphy, was 25 of 41 for 325 yards, the only difference is the interceptions. I mean, we all knew that.
Yeah.
And Miami did take those balls away. They took they created those interceptions. The thing that stood out to me and the thing that stands out to me with Miami is not even the defense. It's how one-sided their offense is. They ran the ball as a team for 126 yards against a pretty poor Duke squad. If you get a team with a decent secondary and you make Miami one-dimensional, are they going to be able to beat them? I don't know. Thanks for the rose, Arnold. Thanks for the rose there. Arnold said, "Who wins Indiana versus Alabama?" Riddle, you're the unbiased party, so I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you.
You say I'm unbiased, but Alabama's our daddy, so we can't even beat them. So,
but you're not.
Your
But
daddy.
you're
Daddy.
I think it would be interesting because I think Alabama's defense, the secondary especially, is susceptible and to the pass and everything. And if Rourke, it took him a little bit to get going today, but if he's on, I think Indiana's defense. I don't think they're an SEC caliber defense, and that's the thing. Is like you would love to see that game on the field, but I think it would be a good game. But I would still give the edge to Alabama right now.
Yeah, it depends on which Alabama team shows up, man.
Well, it also depends on whether, like, how do I say this? I don't know. I'm gonna pass. I would go. Honestly, I think Indiana would beat us right now.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, Indiana probably would beat us with the team they have and the way they're playing consistently. I will just say that, like I said, you never know which Alabama team you're going to get. We're like Forrest Gump out there. You don't know. You just don't know. So, but if I had to put money on it, like if I was betting my last paycheck, I'd probably bet on Indiana. So, oh my God. Jordan said Indiana versus Notre Dame.
Indiana.
Indiana.
It's
There
not
we go.
close.
Team agrees there. All right. So let's jump into the big game. I was trying to see if these guys would show up. They're obviously upset and butthurt right now, so they're not going to be here tonight. But that's okay. We're going to talk about Ohio State at Penn State, the snore fest of the day. We want to talk about this game. We'll start with you, Chris. What'd you think?
You know what's funny that you said it was the snore fest of the day. And I was watching that game before I left for the gym, and they said, "Well, that was the game of the day today. That was the best game of the day." They were acting like this game was so great when it was a snooze fest, like all Big Ten football is. I mean, but yeah, Penn State just can't get over the hump. They can't beat a top 5 team to save their lives. Like they hung in most of the game because Ohio State left points on the board. Ohio State threw a pick 6. Ohio State, Will Howard, I believe he fumbled in the end zone. That would have been 7 points.
Yep.
And I think he threw another pick. I think. I'm not for sure, but like I said, Ohio State left like 21 points on the board. So It should have been a lot. It should have been a blowout. Like Penn State, maybe if they can improve throughout the rest of the season, because they don't have another hard game the rest of the year. They don't have to play Michigan, I don't think. And so they're most likely getting in the playoffs, but I don't know if they can compete with the likes of Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia.
Yeah, so to answer that, Penn State's got Washington, at Purdue, at Minnesota, and Maryland. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Their schedule's pretty lax.
Yeah, so they're getting in the playoffs. But I don't think they can compete with the big dogs.
So, Riddle, what do you think?
Well, it was we talked Wednesday about both of their defenses and where they ranked, and it really turned into a defensive game, if you want to call it that. But I think it's more Penn State's ineptitude on offense. Like, they just don't have an offense. Their offense scored 0 points today. They had 2 field goals from the special teams and a defensive touchdown. That was it. But so they did jump out 10-0 early, and then Ohio State just kind of took over. They added a field goal with 5:03 left in the third to get it to 17-13, but that was it. The big thing that I'm taking away from this is James Franklin is now 1-10 against Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And if you look into that, 7 of those 10 losses, they had the lead in those games.
Yeah.
3 of those games, they had a double-digit lead and lost. So I think it's obvious Penn State has no playmakers on offense, no big threat guys. They do have probably the best tight end in the nation, but if that's all you've got, defenses can key in on that and shut them down. And Ohio State did that today. Yeah. So I think Franklin's seat, even though they're 7-1, it's starting to get pretty warm because the guy can't win big games, and he definitely can't beat Ohio State.
I think Ohio State's content with where they're at. I don't really see. Maybe they're not, but they haven't competed for like a national title in so long. I don't know if they would want to get rid of a coach that can win you 10 games, 9 games a year.
Hey, Georgia did it.
Who's out there that's better though? Georgia
yeah,
did, right?
That's tough.
Georgia did it.
Georgia
had Mark Richt. He averaged 10 wins a year for 15 years, but we never won anything.
So
Ohio State, but who's better out there? Who's going to be better than James? James Franklin's a good coach. It's just, I imagine it's really hard to compete against or recruit against Ohio State, Michigan, all them teams up there. And I would imagine, because they have more winning tradition, recent winning tradition rather than Penn State.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, but they said the same thing. They said the same thing about Rick. You had to recruit against the Alabamas, the Auburns, and the Floridas of the world, but he always won 10 games. So I mean, it's the same thing. The guy can't win their game.
Yeah, I mean you're right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Right? I'm not saying you're wrong, but Penn State, it is a prestigious program. They do want to win the Big Ten. They do want to win these national titles, and they can.
They can't right now. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's important.
But I don't think it's coaching. I think he's doing a good job of what talent they do have. I really do. I don't think it's his coaching. I just don't think they have enough talent.
Well, he controls that too, though.
They don't have no playmakers for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he does control that too. Yeah. You're right.
But Ohio State, they didn't look very good on offense either. So Penn State's defense is legit. We can at least say that. I mean, Will Howard had 182 yards passing. Ohio State had 176 yards rushing. It wasn't anything like they just dominated on but like you said,
we just say Will Howard played like crap. He did not play good at all.
Penn State just stinks on offense. They just stink on offense.
I really don't think he's played well at all this year either. To be honest with you.
I don't know if you saw the James Franklin altercation at the end of the game. If
No,
you
I
haven't,
didn't see
if you
that.
haven't, it will be all over social media. James Franklin literally got into it with a fan, was heckling him at the end of the game. It wasn't
Yeah,
really
he made
even,
some.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
A Penn
It wasn't
State
anything
fan?
crazy. Yeah, it was a Penn State fan. He was pretty much just, and he didn't really say anything out of the way. He did a good job with handling himself, but he basically asked the guy what his name was, and he just walked off. And he said, "No, you come back here. If you're man enough to talk all this crap, you're man enough to tell me your damn name." But if you haven't seen it, you'll see it. It's obviously the Penn State fans, the faithful, are getting a little upset, or that wouldn't have happened.
It's kind of what me and Chris talked about. I mean, Georgia fans, there was frustrations with Rick. I loved Mark Rick. I loved what he did. I loved the way he coached. I loved the culture he brought to Georgia. But the thing about Mark Rick, and it followed him to Miami, he just could not win the big games. He couldn't win the games that mattered.
Yeah.
What a lot of it is coaching.
What year did they beat Ohio State? That you said James Franklin was 1-10 against Ohio State or something?
2016, and it was against Urban Meyer, and it was a blocked field goal in the fourth quarter that did it.
So that was 2016. They had Urban Meyer. So that wasn't like an off year. So they had a good team that year, right?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Breaking in here, Louisville is driving. They're inside the 30, looking to score and go up even more. So we're keeping up with that. But Kippy brought up another good point. So go into the comments real quick. We got 2 comments on this game. So Jordan Saylor said, "I don't think 5-star players want to go to Pennsylvania." Listen, if they want to go to Ohio, Ohio is the armpit of the country. If they want to go to Ohio, then they probably don't care about Pennsylvania. And I don't mean that bad. What I mean is,
but Ohio State has a better track record of producing NFL
exactly.
players.
I just
So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be very hard to recruit against them. They have a lot of people in the NFL.
Geographically, though, I don't think they care. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, geographically, I don't think it'll make a difference.
And then
Pennsylvania or Ohio.
I want to say this real quick before we move on to that next one.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and it's agreeing with Chris talking about James Franklin. After the Sandusky stuff broke and Penn State basically got hit with a death sentence and all of that shit happened, Paterno's gone. I don't know if there was a better candidate in the nation at the time than James Franklin to try to come in there and right the ship there, because he had a proven track record of taking Vanderbilt to something after being nothing for so long.
But he didn't do that. That was Bill O'Brien.
Didn't Bill O'Brien go back there for 1 year? And
he didn't.
I got you. I get what you're saying. Though he didn't do bad though. What was that guy? He had the guy that was supposed to be like the Christian Hackenberg or whatever, supposed to be like the greatest quarterback since Andrew Luck, and he didn't amount to anything.
But James Franklin did. Like Bill O'Brien was there for 1 year. I think he won maybe like 8 games, 9 games.
Yeah,
whatever.
he did mediocre. Yeah.
But James Franklin came in and turned it around, and the team has been consistently good for the past 10 years. And they, like you said, basically got hit with the death sentence after that. Basically.
South Carolina just scored on a 56-yard rushing touchdown.
So honestly, it's
Doyle rules.
So honestly, like, if you get hit with, I forgot about, they got hit with all them sanctions. With them being hit with all that, like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever it was, and to where the program is today, I think they're doing a really good job.
All right, so one more comment, and then we're going to move on. But Kippy brought this up, and I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the Jason Kelsey? If you haven't seen that, you need to go ahead and Google it. Some kids were heckling him after the game. He took a kid's phone from him, slammed it on the ground, picked it up, and walked off with it while he's holding a 12-pack of beer. So
I would have punched him dead in the face.
You're gonna punch Jason Kelsey in the face.
Yeah, damn right.
Chris, that'd be like the wind blowing a leaf on you.
Don't care.
The Kelseys are out there.
They are. I'm just saying, like
that's still feel like that's
and walked off with it. That's fucked up.
I don't care who you are.
We're not saying it's not fucked up. I'm just saying, like, this guy's not going to fit. The guy that he did it to was going to physical. This guy was an offensive lineman for. He's going to destroy him.
In the balls or something.
He was one of the best offensive linemen.
One of the best centers. Yeah, one of the best centers of all time.
No, but yeah. So everyone is saying that he obviously handled that situation very poorly. And
for sure.
And he's got to do better than that. I think we all agree with that. But yeah.
But we're all humans and we all make mistakes and we all get amped up about our teams and we all follow them with a passion. So
yeah, it is. Yeah,
there's that out of it.
It is.
Where was he at? Where was he at? Was he watching a game?
He was
at the Penn State Ohio State.
Oh, he was at the Penn State game.
Yeah,
today.
Yeah,
I thought he went to Cincinnati.
He did, but he was at that game. He tried to kick 2 field goals with Pat McAfee, missed them both.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe he picked the game or something. I don't know.
I guess Picker was T from, or was it Pill? I can't know. I don't know.
Oh yeah. It's
the one that imitates
Pill.
James Franklin.
Pill, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He does the James Franklin impersonation.
All
right, so
that Ohio.
Yeah. Here we go. So Jordan's coming up with a big. All right, so the next game the next one we're going over is the Ole Miss at Arkansas. Mississippi was favored by 7, and they kind of blew that out of the water. It really, really weird because this is the same Arkansas team that Tennessee lost to. And then, we've seen Arkansas come out and lay eggs before, but this was bad. This was really bad. They did seem to find an offense. They did seem to find an offense in the second half. I mean, they scored 31 on Ole Miss, but I don't know if that just tells you Ole Miss's defense sucks. But honestly, Ole Miss's biggest problem, I think, honestly, is they score too fast. And then they got Pete Golding as a defensive coordinator, and that'll never work. Trust me, I know.
I mean, you said they found an offense in the second half, and I mean they obviously rested some starters once it got severely out of hand. I mean, it was 42-10 with 12 minutes to go in the third quarter, and then Arkansas scored a touchdown. Then Ole Miss scored 2 more, and it was 56-17 before the final score was 63-31. So Jackson Dart had a huge day.
You would like to think, though. You would like to think that your second string come in, though. I mean, especially with a team that's riddled and as plagued as Arkansas is. I mean, I don't even know who Arkansas's quarterback is anymore. You know what I mean?
Tennessee. Hold up. Tennessee just missed another field goal.
Oh, man.
Tony left again.
Tony is absolutely – I can feel him. I can feel him all the way over here at the house. I can feel him, just his anger. All right, so get back to the Ole Miss game. Chris, I don't know if you got to watch it at all. Opinions on it?
I think it's crazy that Dart had, 600? I think that's the second SEC quarterback ever to have 605 touchdowns or something, or 6 touchdowns. Well, 5. One guy had 5 touchdowns all by himself. That's freaking nuts.
Dart had 515 yards and 6 TDs.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
And then Watkins was the receiver, had 8 receptions, 254 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's just.
That's like Jalen Hyatt against y'all a couple of years ago.
He had 4
against
us.
But this is the key. Jackson was also their leading rusher. Yeah, that's not gonna be sustainable. I mean, it's just not. Next week we'll see. We'll see how Jackson Dart does next week. All right, we'll cut all the crap out. We'll see. This is a good win for Ole Miss. I think they did a good job winning. They're obviously staying hungry, staying in the hunt, and they're doing everything they need to do. But we'll see what happens next week. That's when the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Where's that game?
But I will say this.
That game at Georgia?
No, it's at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
And I'll say this: Georgia's biggest question mark still on their defense is their secondary and how they get out of position. And Jackson Dart's going to throw the football. So it's not. I mean, the rubber's going to meet the road. It's going to be Georgia's defense is going to have to play like they did against Texas, or it's going to be a shootout. They're going to have to hope for a shootout.
I think they'll be ready. I don't know.
I don't think a Kirby-led team won't be ready.
Yeah. If there's one coach I trust to do the right stuff, it's going to be Kirby. So we'll talk about more. Yeah, we'll talk about that more. Louisville did score, by the way, 23-7. 23-7. SMU is up at half, 31-3. So this is looking like I followed Pitt. I followed Pitt, and this is looking like the Syracuse game last week. That's what it's looking like right now.
Is there any update on the player that got took to the hospital in that game?
No, I don't.
Not yet.
No, I don't see anything yet. Anyway, all right. So Ole Miss, good win for them. Let's go to America's favorite team, Air Force at Army. Air Force at Army. Chris, first off, you didn't respond to my text about the Army uniforms. I was a little hurt. But now that that's over with, now that it's over with,
I had 300 on there. I scroll up for 5 minutes.
Army is America's team. I want to know what you think about the game today.
Army did not look as good without their quarterback. Not nearly as good, but yeah, they still got the job done. I thought they would still win, but I didn't think they would be able to cover. And I thought, I think they would have scored probably like 50 points against them if they had their quarterback.
Yeah, we were hoping they would because I think it was one of Jordan's locks.
All right. Well, I told one of my buddies sent a bet out in the group chat for my fantasy football league and said it was Army's team total, and I was like, I told him not to take it because their quarterback was out. He's like, yeah, I was wondering why the line moved so much. I'm like, yeah, their quarterback's out. Don't do that.
Yeah, nobody even found that out until right before the game. Like when we were talking Wednesday, nobody even knew that Daly was injured. So, yeah,
I didn't know that. Riddle, what'd you have?
They never even said what his injury was either.
No,
they never. They said it was undisclosed or something.
They may not because it's a military institute.
Oh,
he said it was an unspecified injury / illness, and that he was going to miss this game. I did look it up before we went live, and they are expecting him back next week.
Okay.
Which, in my notes, I have it like Bryson Daly being out, how long, and what is the injury? Because if he was going to be out any length of time, I think we found out today against a very poor Air Force team, that offense really struggled. Defense still did their job. Defense played good.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky just fumbled and Tennessee recovered.
Boo.
But back to the Army. Bryson Daly is obviously that big of a deal for this team, and without him, I think their defense can keep them in games, but I don't know if their offense is good enough to score against better teams than Air Force. Air Force is 1-7 this year. The Coleman kid that came in today, it was his first career start, 5 of 8 passing, 48 yards, and then rushing was just 16 for 42, 2.6 average. That's not going to cut it when you got Daly, who's rushed for nearly 1,000 yards this year. So he definitely makes that offense go, and if they have any chance of beating Notre Dame here in a couple weeks, they have to have him healthy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So Mosley said maximum effective range of an excuse is 0 meters. We will make a mental note of that. I will say that the only interesting stat I had in this game, Air Force is terrible. We knew that, but stat wise, the quarterback with the most passing yards was Quentin Hayes of Air Force and had 54. So yeah. About what we expected from a game like this. But yeah, congratulations to Army. They continue their win streak. We're excited about that because obviously we're really looking forward to the Army Notre Dame game. So moving down the list, going to our personal favorite. This is Tony Pardo special. Minnesota at Illinois. I know some people picked Illinois. I know some people did, but it wasn't this guy. So with that said, Chris, we'll let you lead the way. What did you think about this one?
Was disappointed. I thought the Noise would be able to do it, but apparently they're not the team I thought they were. But yeah, Minnesota, congratulations, they won. They played way better than Illinois did today. So
yeah.
Not really much to say on that game. It was kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah, it's Big Ten, I know. Riddle?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of their quarterbacks just drive stalled. Max Brosmer threw 22 of 37 for 213 and one touchdown. And then Altmaier was 20 of 33 for 226 and a touchdown. Minnesota was the favorite going into this game. Me and you picked them, and Jordan came on with us in the Minnesota pick. And we've heard Tony speak on Illinois and how much they were frauds anyway. And yeah, I didn't expect them to win this game, and they didn't.
Yeah, like I said, I got in the boat and I was rowing the damn boat.
Was I the only one that picked Illinois?
No, Tony did too.
Tony did too.
That's Tony's second favorite team. Yeah. So anyway, I was rowing the boat, and Tony he didn't believe. So anyway, yeah. That when we say the Big Ten's a snooze fest, guys, we understand there's teams like Oregon, and we understand there's teams like Indiana that are actually putting up some good video game numbers, and they look fun. The offense looks fun, but we all have to agree most of the Big Ten is boring as shit. It's just boring. Run the ball right up the middle for 2 yards. Run the ball for 3 yards. Run the ball for 4 yards. Got a first down, just barely. So anyway. At least back when Ohio State had C.J. Stroud, they would actually put up some numbers. I mean, like now we're right back to pedestrian-ass Big Ten football. And speaking of pedestrian Big Ten.
Defensive football games.
Yeah, well, that's because of lack of offense, not because of good defense. So moving on, we're going to one of the big games, one of the big fun teams in the Big Ten, and that's Oregon at Michigan. Chris, what do you think?
I like Oregon a lot. Oregon came out and did what I thought they were going to do. They beat them handily.
Yep, they did that.
Right now, I think Oregon's the best team in the country, and I don't think it's very close.
Yeah, I'll say this: Oregon's number one receiver is Trayshawn Holden, who wasn't even good enough to start at Alabama. So that tells me a little bit. But they, as a team, they play better than anybody else right now. So anyway, Riddle, what'd you have?
They've played multiple complete games.
Oh yeah, 100%. They have.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to go with in this game. We know what Michigan is this year. They're not what they were last year.
Trash. Yeah.
We said Wednesday that Michigan's defense would probably keep this close for a little bit, and then Oregon would do what they did, and that's exactly what happened. Dylan Gabriel in the first half was 16 of 22 for 217 and a touchdown, 2 carries, 26 yards and a touchdown, and his touchdown was a 23-yard run because he doesn't run the ball very much. My notes on this: Oregon, as advertised in the first half, up 28-10, wins 38-17, scored. And the big thing to me that I thought was funny is it was 31-17 with a minute left, and Oregon had the ball on the Michigan 7. The spread in this game was 14.5.
Touchdown Tennessee.
Or somewhere around. I just saw it, Dylan Sampson. But we got it early in the week at Oregon 14.5. And instead of just kneeing it out, because Michigan wasn't going to use their one timeout left, they decided to try to stick another touchdown in, and did with 25 seconds left when it didn't matter. But so I thought that was pretty funny. They got a backdoor cover there. But Gabriel finished 22 of 34 for 294 and a touchdown, 3 carries, 23 yards and a touchdown, the 23-yard touchdown run. But yeah, Dan Lanning went to that team, and Oregon now has a defense because he's a defensive-minded coach. Yeah. The offense is continuing to do what they do, and I'm at the moment, we said it about Texas too, but at the moment, Oregon does look like the best team in the nation. So
yeah, I mean, the minute that we say it, they'll probably lose next week. But yeah, so I'll say it. We've said it multiple times this year. We said Texas was the best. I mean, we're going to say Oregon's the best team in the country right now because they are. They're ranked number one. They've done everything they needed to do. They beat the teams they needed to beat. Wyatt said, "How about them Buckeyes?" Yeah, we went over that game. They played well. But yeah, Oregon did exactly what I thought they were going to do, and there was kind of like I said, it was, again, even though Oregon puts up points, it was still a snooze fest for me. something about it just almost is like just not quite what I get when I see Georgia, Florida. But it's not even a big game, which we're going into right now. Florida at Georgia. So
hang on, James Mosley said Oregon in the SEC would be a boy amongst men.
Who is Whippy Ripple? I think he's talking to Riddle. He said, "Come on, Riddle, who's the best team?" I think he's
not yet. They're not. We'll find out about them. We'll find out about them in a couple weeks.
He said
they got to beat Ohio State first before.
Can we start calling you Ripple?
Ripple. He called me Ripple.
He said autocorrect. That's all right.
They got to beat Ohio State first before we consider them an actual contender, and they're going to get that shot. So.
Indiana beats Ohio State. Everything we're going to talk about in a minute. If they beat Ohio State, I'll be on that bandwagon. I'll be helping you pull that damn wagon. Okay. All right. Let's go into this Florida at Georgia game. This game was way too interesting. Way too interesting. We're going to start with Chris. Then I'm going to go. Then I'm going to let Riddle sum up the game in his entirety since he is the resident Georgia fan. So, Chris, what did you think about the old Florida at Georgia?
I mean, it was a lot closer than everybody thought, and honestly, if quarterback doesn't go down, I think Florida wins that game. They played like not very well. He played bad. I mean, when I got to watch, I watched like the second half, and the quarterback they had in there, that white dude, he was bad.
Yeah.
But
just break in real quick, Chris. South Carolina scored another field goal, so they're up 10 now. So big moments in the SEC right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So all right. Well, I'll say this because I'm going to leave the dramatics for Riddle. But I will say, Chris, the way you were acting earlier with the Florida Georgia, I was expecting more antics from you. But
I didn't want to do all that.
It's all right. It don't matter. Hell, that's what they're here to see.
Okay.
Yeah. With that said, I will say that Georgia's defense has something to be proud of. They're not bad. Georgia's defense is not bad. Georgia gave them the ball 3 times, gifted it to them, gift wrapped, said here, and Georgia's defense still held up. I know they gave up 20 points, but you got to look at the circumstances they were put in when they scored those 20 points. I still think Georgia's defense is as elite as anyone in the nation. So I want to go on record as saying that, as elite as anyone in the nation. The only thing I saw that really needs improvement is Carson Beck. Looks like Georgia's starting to run the ball, and they didn't even have their best rusher for most of the game. They're starting to run the ball consistently. At 82 yards from Frazier that's commendable. That's commendable. I mean, Florida was out there trying to take off heads. We saw that. Florida was out there that's their Super Bowl, and they were trying to play like it was their Super Bowl. And bottom line is if Beck doesn't throw those picks, I think it was a blowout, but Beck's got to get his shit straight, man. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's got going on in his mind, and I'll let Riddle talk to it more. But if he can get his shit straight, Georgia's as dangerous as anybody. But right now, something's in his mind, and something's got him spooked. He's out there seeing those ghosts. Riddle, I'll hand it over to you because I know you got more to say.
It was another very slow start for Georgia's offense, which is becoming a trend that's pretty aggravating. Carson Beck, you said Wednesday he was a dark horse Heisman candidate, and I laughed at you because they're my team. I follow them a lot more, so I pay attention to the details. And he threw 6 interceptions all year last year. He's thrown 11 in his last 5 games this year, and there's reasons for it. Like, if I'm not even going to call it pressure, but as soon as that pocket even starts to collapse, he panics. And when he is under pressure, instead of just taking a sack, which sometimes is the best thing to do, because he's not going to get out of the pocket, because he's not a runner, but take the sack. Don't turn the ball over and give the opposing team a short field. You can't do that and get away with it. You did today because Florida's a 4-4 team. Yeah. And they had a freshman quarterback in that got hurt, and then you turn to a Yale transfer. And his throwing this year is off. Even when he has time, he's overthrowing guys. He's throwing behind guys. He's missing. He had Cash Jones on a wheel route early in that game and overthrew him by 3 yards. And who didn't panic under pressure? Stetson Bennett, and he was a walk-on. Yeah. He stood in the pocket and he made the throws he had to throw. He had to make, and those deep balls, he was great at the deep ball. And I know the deep ball is not an easy throw to make, but still, you have to hit some of those. Look at DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway can hit the deep ball. He threw an absolute dime today. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that if he didn't get hurt, we lose that game. I disagree, and here's why. On Florida's scoring drives in the first half following the Beck interceptions, they had one play for 43. That was the great pass from Lagway. Won't take that away from him. Malachi Starks got caught looking in the backfield, got out of position. I've talked about Georgia's secondary all year. So give them that one play, 43 yards. The field goal drive was 10 plays, 37 yards. They were averaging 3.7 yards per play. Then their next field goal was 8 plays, 40 yards. And that was right before the half, and we talked about that while I was at your house. There's no business to give that one up, but still, they're not giving up a lot of yards. And then the other one was late in the game. They did score, let's see, where's it at? 5 plays, 55 yards, and that was when they tied it at 20. And then that was it. But, Lagway, I'll give Lagway credit. He was 2 of 6 passing for 47 yards. The one touchdown was the 43-yarder. So he had one other completion for 4 yards. Running, he was 4 of 18. He was only involved himself in 10 plays in that game. Yeah. Now, what he did do was he extended drives with his legs when he needed a couple yards early in that game. They controlled the time of possession. Beck was turning the ball over. That's the only reason this game was as close as it was, and that's solely on Carson Beck. And I told you earlier when I was at your house, I was very frustrated with Beck because he's a senior, and instead of being big in those moments that you need to be, he's folding in those moments, and that's not a good thing. Under pressure today, he was 1 of 7 for 6 yards and 3 interceptions. And take the fucking sack if that's going to be the case. Don't throw the ball to the other team because you're not going to get away with that down the road. You won't get away with it next week. You won't get away with it against Tennessee. Because guess what? Tennessee's still got one of the best defenses in the nation. I don't care what anybody says. So you can't make those mental mistakes, and especially you can't do it on the road. And luckily we got Tennessee at home. But Beck did finish 25 of 40 for 309, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks. One thing that I was kind of proud of, but if you really break it down, it wasn't that impressive. Florida was 15th in the SEC in rushing defense. And we ran 33 times for 146 yards. And I believe Dylan Bell on a end around, one play for 33 of those yards. So all right. I was very disappointed with this performance. I wasn't surprised that it was close. I said Wednesday that this rivalry is historically close. It doesn't matter what the teams are when they play. So I wasn't too surprised by that. I was disappointed and surprised by Beck's poor play again, and then his demeanor on the sidelines. They showed him repeatedly with that fucking eye black on that I wanted him to just wash off his fucking face because he's never done that. And he'd go over there after an interception and he'd just sit down and he'd just be sitting there like, just pouting. Fucking pick up a damn tablet. Find out what you saw wrong and make an adjustment. He threw into double coverage for a pick. He threw into triple coverage for a pick. And then he got hit and still tried to throw a fucking bomb that ended up being a pick. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
This sounds familiar.
Very unhappy.
This sounds familiar.
Very unhappy with the quarterback play. Was proud of Nate Frazier, though. He's a freshman. He had 19 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown today. He was there when we needed him because ETN took that shot in the ribs and went out and never came back. So, Georgia's got some holes, and they've got to get those corrected. They're not going to go anywhere. And hats off to Florida, because over the past month, Florida has been playing their best football with young guys. That ball kid, the running back, he's a freshman. Lagway was a freshman. You got a Yale transfer coming in, and that if Lagway is out, which we think he is going to be, because that would look like a pretty serious hamstring injury, Florida's offense is going to struggle. But hats off to Florida, and I hate to say that, but yeah, very, very disappointed from our senior quarterback.
So, a couple of comments. Yeah, good take, Ripple. A couple of comments. Wyatt came in here and said Florida DBs were doing a great job of getting open for Carson Beck. Wyatt also said, "When did Tony?" He said Wyatt also said, "When did Pardo grow a beard?" Pardo can't grow a beard. Let's just get that. Let's just get that straight.
That's not a beard.
Pardo's got like a what is it? Like a mini mustache. We call them Smyrna stashes around here. But anyway, long story short, no, Pardo ain't grown no beard. But yeah, good take. Like I said, closer than what we all thought. All right, now let's get to an upset. Texas Tech knocking off Iowa State. Chris, I know you probably didn't watch this one. I know you were thrilled, to watch the Big 12, but go ahead.
I didn't get to watch it, no, but I was glad they lost, but, just because, they're in front of Alabama, but
yeah,
other than that, I ain't really got much to say on that.
Yeah. Riddle?
I'm not totally shocked by it. I think Iowa State has been in quite a few close games that they've pulled out at the end.
Yes.
And this game, I watched the end of this game, and I watched Texas Tech's touchdown there late, and it looked like the weather was absolutely horrible. I know there was delays in this game, and it took a long time to finish this game, but I'm not shocked because, Iowa State's technically the best the Big 12 has to offer. Now it's BYU, I believe. So they were bound to slip up with the way that they'd been playing, and Texas Tech got them. So hats off to Texas Tech.
Yeah, there we go. I'm kind of glad. Like I said, I'm kind of glad Iowa State kind of got knocked off just from a standpoint of they were in front of Alabama, like Chris said. It's just one of those situations where you just kind of want our team to kind of step up and win or have a shot at winning. Whether we do or not, it'll be up to us and how we play. But that said, nothing spectacular. Now we're going to get to a big game, a game that started out kind of shaky, especially if you're an Indiana fan. Kippy, I know, was a little nervous at the beginning after going down 10-0, but Indiana at Michigan State. Chris, what did you think about it?
Yeah, they got down early, so that was kind of crappy. But after that, they handled their business. They beat them. I beat them quite handily. I think it was 40 something. But it was they did what they had to do. Huh?
What
did you say?
It was 47-10 was the final.
Yeah. So
it's a blowout.
After they got down, they just started playing like. Yeah, I think Indiana has a really, really good team.
Yeah. All right, Riddle, go ahead.
They started off slow, and Rourke coming back. The guy just had surgery, on his thumb, on his throwing hand. So I'm sure there was some hesitations from him in the beginning, being back in a live game. You can't practice live game. You can't. And so it took him a little bit to get settled in, and then he got settled in. He finished 19 of 29 for 263 and 4 touchdowns. And the interesting little fact that I found on this one is this is only the third time in Indiana's school history that dates back to the 1800s that they've won 9 games in a season. The other 2 years were 1967 and 1945. and they won 9 games in both of those seasons. So Cignetti's got these guys playing really good football. I'm excited about the Indiana-Ohio State matchup, and I'm excited to see what Rourke does because, like I said, it took him a little bit to get going, but when he got going, he got going, and they scored 47 unanswered points in that game. They scored 21 in the second, 12 in the third, and 14 in the fourth to rout Michigan State. So,
yeah. So, yeah, great team effort. Indiana got down. They obviously a resilient team. Found it fascinating that 7 people ran the football for Indiana. They only had 122 yards rushing, which I'm going to tell you this. You're not going to win in the big games with only 122 yards rushing. It's not going to happen. Rourke is good, but he's going to need some help. And but I thought it was interesting that 7 people got a carry. Tennessee's got a pick six.
No, they got tackled.
If he can get it, he's going to get run down. He got ran down at the 10. That's Brooks, though. Dude's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky doesn't have a quarterback though, because that wasn't even Vandergriff. I think they took Vandergriff or whatever out. Okay.
I'll check real quick.
Anyway, yeah, but back to it. Like Rourke is playing really good. So Rourke is one of those guys who can secretly really surprise some people. I'd like to see an NFL scouts breakdown on Rourke. I would like to honestly see what they're seeing with him and where they see him projecting, because Rourke is an interesting talent. He's an interesting candidate. And I think if I was an NFL team, I'm not saying right now, I don't have enough information on him, but he would be somebody I'd be looking at. I'd be looking at him over some of the other ones, and I'm not going to go into all that because I don't want to sit here and compare. But how he plays against Ohio State is really going to tell us a lot about this team and this program. And yeah,
I'm waiting.
Okay.
There's another big score alert. South Carolina just scored a touchdown. I just have to look down and look at it.
37-20?
I don't know if it was a pick six. It's 36-20 pending the extra point. But I don't know if it was an offensive touchdown or not. I think it was a pick six.
Tennessee just got a touchdown too.
Yeah.
So Georgia controls their own destiny,
I think South Carolina just got a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
The referee saying something. I don't have it turned up right now.
Yeah, Kippy, I agree. He will get invited to the combine. There'll be no doubt about that. But yes, Kippy had the stat of the night.
Sure.
The stat of the night for this game was Michigan State being held to negative 36 yards rushing on 32 attempts. You take that.
Indiana's defense has been playing well all year.
Yeah. You take that, and the fact that their offense is actually like not a snooze fest like every other single,
Big Ten
team.
Their offense, I actually like watching them play football.
And I like Oregon's offense too. I
think Indiana can hang with Oregon. I think Indiana will give them a
They
hell
may
of a
have
game.
a shot. They may have a shot. Indiana's got to beat Ohio State.
Indiana will beat Ohio State. Indiana will beat Ohio State.
Oh man, that's bold there. That's bold there. Bold,
South
bold.
Carolina stepped out of bounds on that pick six, so it's just first down at their own 16-yard line.
That's fine. All right, so real quick, we'll break in here and do a couple comments because I think that was fine. James said he's impressed with the kid at Vandy. Yeah, we're all impressed with the kid at Vandy. We've all said that. Pavia is playing as good as anybody, especially for a situation. And then Wyatt come in and said, do you think Genty will win the Heisman? How high will he get drafted? Who wants to start that?
I don't think he wins the Heisman. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. I think his last 2 games for what he needed was disappointing. He's not broke a huge touchdown run in a while. He is still getting the yards, so don't get me wrong. Yeah. He's still a really good running back. Now, to the second part of that, running backs don't get drafted high anymore. It doesn't matter really how good you are, and you got to be able to catch the ball, and that's not really what he's known for. So I think he'd be a second-round running back to a team that's outside of Derrick Henry and a couple others. The NFL doesn't really run the ball like they used to. It's more of a passing league. So I still think the highest running back drafted will be a second-rounder. So
what do you think, Chris?
I mean, he could still win the Heisman. He's not that far off the yards.
He is.
He could still get it. He could still. Do I think he will win it if he breaks Barry Sanders' record? Yes, I do think he wins it, and he still has a very good chance to do that.
I think he's got to break it before the Heisman Trophy. I think he has to break the record before the ceremony.
He does, yes. I think so too.
With the talent, the teams he's playing, and how bad they are, because he's not playing good teams. He played Oregon, and I agree he did good against Oregon, but that's one game, and he did great. He played great against Oregon. I don't want anyone. I'm not taking anything away from the kid. I'm saying if he has a couple 300-yard games and he breaks that record before the Heisman ceremony, I would be very hard pressed to say he didn't deserve to win it. I mean, that's still an immaculate record that stood for a very long time. So I would be like, give it to the kid. Mosley said the kid at Army should win. I think him being out is going to hurt his. I would love to get
that Wednesday.
Yeah.
We talked about that Wednesday, him being a dark horse, and the fact that what he's done there has been huge. He was tied with Genty coming into this week in scoring, and I went over all his stats and stuff Wednesday. But the fact that he was out this game and could potentially miss more, I think that cost him his chance.
No, if he comes back next week, I think he'll be all right. If they go undefeated, you don't think that's he's on Army, they're undefeated, he's doing everything. If he still has a chance to win it, you don't think he's
not win it.
Chance to win it?
Not win it, Chris. I think he might go to New York, but not win it.
Okay.
No, I mean,
he's not even in the right now.
Well, just because it's Army, and if he takes it to an undefeated season, that would be a feat in itself.
No, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, we said that. Riddle,
I kind of like that year that Eric Crouch won it.
Okay.
That year that Eric Crouch won it in Nebraska. That was pretty much a 4-year award because he was not the best player that year. That was the year, I think, 2001 Miami Hurricane team. He was definitely not the best player that year.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm not taking anything away from the kid. If that kid goes out and throws for 200 yards and runs for 200 yards against Notre Dame, we're having a whole different conversation. I mean, it's all about who you're playing and the product you're putting on the field. And the kid's playing great football. I have nothing bad to say about him. I think if he continues this streak, he will be in New York. But I just told you, Cam Ward, dude, they're feeding him the yards. They're feeding it to him left and right. It's going to be very hard. But I do think Genty, I do think Travis Hunter, I think all these guys are still in it. All it takes is one big game and the odds are going to shift. That's how close it is right now. So that's my opinion, but yeah.
So Army's remaining schedule is at North Texas next week. Then they're off the week after, and then they play Notre Dame on the 23rd. And that Notre Dame game, if he's back and healthy, if he comes back from North Texas, he's still playing good, and then they could beat number 8 Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium, and he has a massive game. He's obviously should jump into the conversation, but everything's got to go perfect for him.
So more comments here. Kippy said last year at the Big Ten Championship, Sig said IU will be there next year. If I have not seen that, if that's true, freaking awesome. I hope they are, and I hope they win it. I don't care. Like I said, that's America's third favorite team right now, so I hope they win it. Army and Navy being 1-2. So, and let's see. Wyatt said, "Is Ripple nervous about Beck going forward?" This is becoming a thing here. Ripple.
I'm not going to say that I'm nervous. I'm not going to say that I'm nervous because it is what it is. He has to play better or Georgia is going to lose. And that's just the bottom line. And it's the writing's on the wall. So there is no nerves about it. It's just he has to play better.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Navy's down 17-7 at the half.
Oh, yeah. They let us down now. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next upset. This was probably a bigger upset than the one we said previously. So this is probably, like I said, it's bigger upset for sure. Kansas State going down to Houston, 24-19. Houston taking that win. Chris, I don't know if you got any. Like I said, it's not really a game we'd watch, but still a big upset.
Yeah, I didn't really get to check it out. But yeah, it was a big upset. I didn't expect it, but
Yeah, I don't think anybody really did.
It's not really shocking at the same time. But yeah, I really didn't get a chance to watch it. So,
and if you look at the spread, when I say bigger upset, I mean, so actually Iowa State was favored more, but Texas Tech has a much better record than Houston does. So when I say bigger upset, that's what I'm talking about. Riddle, what'd you think?
It was a little shocking, especially if you look, and Houston only had 232 yards total. Zion Chris was 11 of 11 for 103 yards and a touchdown, had 22 carries and 75 yards and a touchdown. So it was basically a one-man show. He didn't have any completions, which they only threw the ball 12 times, and they rushed the ball 40 times for 121 yards, which is just a 3-yard average. But, yeah, that was I figured Kansas State would win that game pretty handily, and they did not because Houston's not played well all year. But the quarterback played perfect this game, so I was shocked by it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was shocked too, just from a standpoint of I did not anticipate K-State. I know they struggled with Kansas. That's a huge rivalry game. So 100%, like I could see that going either way. I mean, just like Georgia, Florida was back and forth early on. Those games tend to get nasty and they get a little bit hectic. And obviously those games play out to be much better than what they should. Alabama, Auburn's another prime example of that. But I did not anticipate them losing to Houston, but they did. Congratulations to Houston. And now we're going to move on to the game that we wanted to talk about, that one person is especially excited to talk about, and that's me. And that is the game we're watching right now, and that's Texas A&M at South Carolina. And the only reason why we're concerned about this is obviously we are SEC fans, and Texas A&M controlled their own destiny after what we saw last week. And so obviously them getting beat, which Riddle, apparently they didn't score on whatever that pick was.
Yeah, he stepped out. I said that earlier. He stepped out on like their 16, and A&M's now got the ball back, but it's 4th and 6.
Yeah. So, but I do think I think this is a big game for all of us on the panel, because this game matters. This is the number one team in our conference. And so we're going to sit here and figure out what's going on. But Chris, what are you thinking of the Texas A&M South Carolina? How do you think this thing's going to end, buddy?
I'm hoping I hope Texas A&M comes back and wins. I mean, honestly, because I want to see A&M and Georgia play in the championship, or A&M and Texas. I want to see something like that.
Okay.
Because I think A&M has a good team, and I think they can compete with whoever they face in the SEC championship.
Okay. All right. Riddle, what you got? What are you thinking?
Well, I think we talked about it Wednesday. South Carolina can be a tricky place to play, especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
And they went with Reed, the freshman. This game, he started, and he's 15 of 24 for 166 passing with a touchdown and a pick. Then the big thing
I think, isn't he?
But what he torched LSU on was using his legs. Like, he ran all over LSU. And he's got 59 yards rushing in this one, 20 on one carry. But then he's got 11 more carries for 39 yards in this game. So South Carolina's done a fantastic job of kind of bottling him up and putting him under pressure. He's a young guy. He's bound to make mistakes. So I didn't think that it would be what it is. And now, South Carolina's got the ball back. But there's 11:20 to go. And A&M's going to have to get some stops. And as far as the impact it makes on the SEC standings, if for that chaos scenario that we discussed Wednesday to play out, A&M needs to win this game. Otherwise, if they lose this game, then the Texas A&M game at the end of the year becomes an elimination game. So,
interesting there.
Yeah.
Which if Texas were to win against A&M at the end of the year, it eliminates A&M, but then Georgia would own the tiebreaker over Texas because of the head-to-head, and then LSU should still get in based off of all the other tiebreakers. So, the big game. This is a big game for Georgia fans, and the way it's going is good for Georgia fans. And then the Georgia Tennessee game then becomes an elimination game as well.
Yeah, Kippy said it matters to Indiana fans because they think they would make the playoffs with an A&M loss. Yeah, I mean, everyone that loses. Kentucky just scored, so now
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, the A&M freshman quarterback, he's from Murfreesboro, I believe. If
he may be he went to Montgomery Bell Academy in Nashville. I don't know where he was born though. He was born in Murfreesboro, but he went to Montgomery Bell. It's a private school up in Nashville, kind of where we're at, and that's a very good school. It has a lot of talent flow through there. And to be honest with you, like I said, anyone that's ever been to Tennessee and follows college football, Tennessee is not known as a fertile nesting ground of recruiting talent. It is not. There's a reason why Tennessee goes outside of their own state most of the time to get their talent, because there's just not a lot. So the fact that they let someone like him slip away is quite intriguing.
It's happened quite a bit when Pruitt was at Tennessee and Butch Jones was at Tennessee. They let a lot of those big-time Tennessee prospects go because those guys didn't want them. But as far as what Kippy said,
they went for two. Why they went for two?
Better chance for IU to make the playoff with an A&M loss. All Indiana's got to do is win. Win and you're in. That's it.
Win, you're in.
So,
and even if you do, like, let's say you do slip up and you lose, if that's your only loss, I still think you've got a really good shot. So we'll see what happens, though. Is Lock Loaded and Goated? Hold on. Is Lock Loaded and Goated doing a Tuesday special podcast? Well, as a matter of fact, we are. We're doing our weekly Wednesday podcast on Tuesday to celebrate kind of the unveiling of the playoff rankings. So we're going to do that. And then Wyatt said off topic, does Pardo think the Titans win? Pardo doesn't think the Titans are going to win anything, okay? I'm just going to be honest with you. It's more comical now because he's lost all hope. He's just sitting there like a helpless baby boy. All right, go ahead, Riddle.
I was just saying, Chris asked why they were going for two. It's going to get them within a field goal, and I'm assuming that stood. So just a one-possession field goal game.
Yeah. I mean, it's a game. Tennessee is gritty. If we're going to talk, we're not there yet, but we're almost there. They're gritty. They're a gritty team. And if you look at some of their wins this year, like even the Bama win, it was ugly. The Florida win, ugly. It takes the whole game to pull away and win. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Georgia, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to come over and slap the shit out of somebody if they don't produce and play better against Tennessee. I'm just going to tell you this right now. They have a good defense, but they're not as good as everyone makes it up.
We were talking earlier because of shit. But Georgia's got a really good athletic defense. Tennessee's got a really good athletic defense. And if Carson Beck can limit the fucking mistakes and turnovers and stuff, then I think Georgia wins that game. But if Beck's playing like he's playing right now, Tennessee's going to have a shot. And we already know it's hard to win in the SEC. It doesn't matter what week it is, who you're playing. It's hard to win in the SEC.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But you know what's even harder to win in the SEC, Riddle? To win a road game in the SEC. You don't have that disadvantage for that game.
I agree.
That's your big takeaway. You are at home, and I think that's what's gonna put you out on top. That's my opinion. Anything could change though. Let's see here. Do you think if Bama loses to LSU, Simpson will get the nod to prepare him for next year? No. As much as I wish that would happen, no. No, they're going to stick it out with Milroe. I'm just going to say, I'll go on record saying it right now. Everybody just flag this in the chat, mark it down on a piece of paper. The best thing that can happen to Alabama is Milroe needs to go pro. Whatever he's going to go, I don't care if he goes in the 7th round as Mr. Irrelevant. Go. He needs to go because we need to move on and start preparing somebody for the next step. Milroe has reached his ceiling at Alabama. I'm convinced now. I'm convinced. So can he play great at times? Yes. But is he ever going to be any better of a quarterback consistently? I don't think. I think the answer is no. So I don't know. Maybe some guru whisperer can help him. Maybe he can sell his soul to the devil at the crossroads and for some reason just become a great quarterback. But he's not it right now. He's a good quarterback. He's a college quarterback. He's just I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it being a good one. All right, Riddle. Let's Louisville at Clemson. This game is shocking. Clemson just scored, so it's 26-14. So they just scored. Good for them, but there's only 6 minutes to go. And Louisville's pretty much owned them this whole way. And we just talked about Clemson a little earlier. Chris, what do you think? Who's going to win this game, Clemson or Louisville? So, you there, Sleep? Oh, you there, Sleepy?
I'm here. I've been watching the Tennessee game. So I'm shocked, actually. I had Clemson winning and covering the spread. Yeah. So I thought you said Clemson was up by 16.
No,
I've been watching or paying attention to this, so I'm shocked.
No,
I thought they would cover 10 points.
Is that what you was looking at on your phone?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I'm like, what?
I was like, maybe he didn't hear me. Anyway, all right, Riddle, what do you think?
I mean, we talked about Clemson Wednesday, and we talked about Cade Klubnik, being a Heisman contender, possibly dark horse, because of the way he's played since that opening loss to Georgia. And I'm not really sure what's going on here. They've not turned the ball over tonight, so they're just not moving the football. Apparently, Louisville's pass defense has been pretty outstanding tonight. I haven't got to watch it because we've been live, and I've got these two other games on. But Klubnik tonight is 22 of 39 for only 116 yards. He's averaging 3 yards an attempt, which is awful. Apparently, they're just trying to extend the running game through the passing game, and that's not what they've been doing. Klubnik's got 10 for 44 rushing, but that's definitely going to take a hit and probably take him out of that potential dark horse by losing this game and having a underwhelming performance. They have run for 192 yards, so they're being able to move the ball rushing. But with 6 minutes to go and you just scored, so you're giving the ball back to Louisville, you probably only have 2 possessions left. So if Louisville can even kick a field goal, this game's over.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. As I'm speaking, Louisville just bust a 45-yard run for a touchdown, so they're about to go back up by 20 with 50 left, and this game's over.
And you hit all the points. You covered it well. Wyatt was just asking who the guy on top. That he's an Alabama fan. Wyatt. There's 2 Alabama fans, 2 Tennessee fans, and a Georgia guy. But with that said, Louisville sucks throwing the ball, but they're still 156 yards is still the leading passer in this game, like you mentioned. This is college football now, guys. This is college football. Clemson has looked so pedestrian ever since they lost like Tony Elliott. When Clemson started losing their assistant coaches, like Alabama's been doing for years, when Clemson started losing them, that's when they started taking hits. That's when this team started going downhill. His refusal to engage in the transfer portal, his refusal to try to, push the NIL, he's stuck in that old school narrative, and it's just not going to be successful. It's just not going to be successful. He's going to have to adapt or he will die. But here's the deal. Like Chris said, you're not going to go out there and get anybody better than him. You're not. That's not going to happen. I mean, he's a national title winning coach, one of few that remain in the country. So, I mean, with that said, I just think this is going to be I don't know. Unless they catch lightning in a bottle with a world winning quarterback, I just don't know what's going to happen. All right. So
James asked in the chat, what did Georgia rush for today? They rushed 33 times for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And James, just so we're clear, I don't think anyone here thinks that's acceptable for a Georgia team. Not saying it's not. I'm just for a Georgia team. We know what they're capable of. We've seen them do it better than what they're doing it right now. And some reason this season, it's just whatever reason, the line's not gelling. The running back, I don't know, but it's just not working the way it usually does. I think Riddle will tell you that. I mean, it's just.
I don't think they've tried to establish the run as much this year either.
I can see
we
that.
talked about it Wednesday. That's why Beck's in some of these positions he's in, is because he's having to try to throw the ball all the time. And you have to run the ball to open up the pass sometimes, especially when you're not a big play team like Georgia is. They're more of a possessions type team. So,
yeah. All right. Well, like I said, this is the game. The other game we're all watching right now is, Tennessee playing Kentucky. It's in Knoxville. I'm watching it currently.
And six had to punt it back to Kentucky.
I'll fix that to punt it back.
Yeah, they're only down by 3 too.
I find it very interesting, Riddle. Do you see the stat that's on the screen right now? That is a very interesting stat to me. That is very interesting to me. Because
it's the truth though, because it's
their second loss.
I was just going to say it's their second. They still have to play Georgia. That's why that percentage drops so much.
Okay, so they're just predicting that they wouldn't win. Okay,
because
either way, they got the lead right now.
Game.
And apparently Vandergrift's out. I mean, this guy's been in here.
He did. Well, he went to the locker room earlier. You said that was their backup that threw that interception. That was his first pass. And it went for a pick six, or a pick down to the 10 that ended up being Tennessee touchdown. And he's 2 of 3 for 58 yards, though, outside of the pick.
First down to the 50-yard line almost.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, this game is, man. So anyway, we're talking about this game that we're literally all watching. So I don't want to talk about that because I feel like this is the game we're going to finish up on. Let's go ahead and move on over to the snooze fest that is Pittsburgh at SMU. Pittsburgh got me again, man. Last week they got me because I thought they sucked. I thought they were pretend, and they go out and they beat Syracuse. And then it turns out Syracuse just wasn't that good. And then now it seems to me like Pittsburgh's just not that good because SMU is really playing good football. And anybody that watched the game last week, the SMU Duke game, you can't tell me you thought this. What, they turned the ball over 6 times last week? SMU, it was crazy.
Yeah, and they blocked the field goal just to send it to overtime, and then won it in overtime.
It was crazy. Go ahead.
We talked about how much they'd been traveling too, and how they would be happy to be home. And
yeah, they're happy, all right.
We talked about the run defenses for these two teams are tops in the ACC.
Yeah.
And about lost it. But yeah, so that's held true for SMU. Pittsburgh's only ran for 90 yards and a touchdown. Their leading rusher has 13 carries for 49 yards. And then SMU has been able to find some success on the ground. Rashard Smith's got 21 carries for 142 yards and a touchdown. And then Jennings, who we thought would try to run the ball more this week because we talked about how there's openings for both of these teams to throw, but Jennings not much, he's not a big thrower. Holstein's obviously the better thrower of the two. Well, Jennings is 13 of 21 for 173 and a touchdown in this game. So they're definitely finding more success against Pittsburgh's defense than Pittsburgh is against SMU's.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I was watching the damn Kentucky. Kentucky had 3rd and long, and the pressure got to him, and he just threw an incomplete pass, but it was actually a hold on James Pierce. But with that said, the only game we really got left to go over is this one, the Tennessee-Kentucky game. And so Wyatt asked, who do you think wins the SEC championship? And the problem with that question is we don't even know who's going to go now. Like, we don't know. Oh, my God, did you see that snap?
Rolled it to him.
It was absolutely terrible.
Rolled the snap to him.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that's the real question, Wyatt, is who goes to the SEC championship? Tennessee is sitting there with 1 loss. LSU has 1 loss. Texas A&M, if everything holds true, they may have a loss tonight. Then you've got Georgia with one loss and Texas with one loss. So it's like there's 5 teams vying for a spot. And we went over the tiebreaker earlier this week, and it really is – it's a crapshoot. Like if LSU wins out, LSU's in. Based on the tiebreakers we all talked about this week, looking at the tiebreakers, looking at how everything plays out. If LSU wins out, LSU's in no matter what. With their one loss, they'll be in. If Texas beats Texas A&M, obviously they have a really good shot. But if Georgia wins out, then they hold the tiebreaker. So there's a whole lot of things that have to play out before we can say that. But if you just, what the hell was that? Shit. I heard something. I heard like a noise. You hear a noise? Anyway, doesn't matter.
I didn't hear anything. I heard you talking.
Apologize. Anyway, bottom line is if we knew who was going, it'd be easier to say. Right now, based on what I'm seeing, I would say I'd still put my money on Georgia, and if for no other reason than I know Georgia's been there, done that, got the T-shirt. And if there's one thing, like I said, you can trust, it's Kirby's willingness and ability to prepare. And so I would say Georgia if I had to say who was going to win one. But that's just right now. Obviously, Tennessee fans are going to think Tennessee. There's just a lot of people, but
James in the chat says my vote goes to Alabama.
They're out of it, buddy. Right now, they're out of it.
I mean, if these two games hold the way they are, then it really helps with that chaos factor that we discussed Wednesday, and we kind of touched on it just a little bit earlier. A&M loses this game and takes a loss, then you've set yourself up for the remaining big games to all be elimination games, because Ole Miss and Alabama are sitting there with 2 losses. They still got to play. Alabama has to play LSU, who has 1 loss. So if they beat LSU, then they would have the tiebreaker over LSU based off head-to-head. Ole Miss, with their 2 losses, still has to play Georgia. If they were to beat Georgia, Georgia would have 2 losses, but then Ole Miss would have the tiebreaker over them based off head-to-head. Mm-hmm. But as the way it sits right now, A&M takes this loss. Tennessee manages to hang on. You've got 5 teams with 1 loss, and they all have to play an elimination game. Yeah. Because Texas A&M plays Texas, Georgia plays Tennessee, Alabama plays LSU. So it's going to play itself out if this holds true. Now, if A&M can somehow manage to find 11 points in the next 4 minutes, which doesn't look like they're going to, because they're looking like they're about ready to storm the field in South Carolina. It looks like people are heading down to the lower levels. But yeah, because A&M's only got the 2-minute timeout and then 1 timeout remaining. So an A&M loss here helps the chaos factor and then sets up elimination games the rest of the way, which is going to be fun to watch.
So I'm gonna play a little game with y'all. I'm gonna be like Saul. Let's play a game. Y'all want to play a game? So Bama beats LSU. Let's say for instance, Tennessee some reason loses a game. Georgia, okay. Let's say Georgia trips up somewhere. I don't think Georgia will, so I don't want to sit there and say that. But basically, to me, it still looks like the easiest path. If Texas A&M loses tonight, the easiest path still remains Texas and I think Texas and Georgia. If I had to pick one right now, like those 2 seem like the easiest path. If Texas A&M loses, if Texas A&M didn't lose tonight, then obviously that game with Texas was going to be big, and even with 1 loss, it'd still be kind of close. But like Riddle said, everyone else is. Texas A&M's got the easiest schedule remaining, but like I said, everyone took South Carolina for granted. They're not that bad. It's hard. Like Riddle, you mentioned this earlier. It's hard to play at the South Carolina at night. So I don't know. I mean, I'm still putting my money on Georgia, but there's a lot that can happen. And if all these teams start losing games they're not supposed to, then that's when it really gets interesting.
The one advantage that Georgia has over everybody else that's in that top 5 is they've only got 2 conference games left, Ole Miss and Tennessee. And then everybody else, let's see, Texas has got, I think the remaining schedule, 4. 4 SEC games left. Tennessee's got 4 SEC games left. LSU's got 4 SEC games left, and A&M will have the 2 left after this one, but one of them being Texas. So it's starting to kind of thin itself out from where we've been just jumbled up all year. And South Carolina just scored another touchdown, so go ahead and stick a fork in that one. So I mean, it basically sets up.
Oh wow.
I'll just say this: I've never seen a team be ranked number 7 in the nation and struggle against so many teams as this Tennessee team. I've never seen it. I don't know. I mean, like we said, I am an Alabama fan. Alabama's not a good team. They're not a good team this year. Just stop it. They're an okay team. Can they go out and win a game if they needed to? Yeah, they got the talent to do that, but they're not a good team this year. They're not playing well. Kentucky is 1-5 in the SEC. I don't want anyone to forget this. 1-5.
But at the same argument, Georgia only beat them 13-12.
100%. 100%. But like, it's crazy. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, doesn't make sense. But with that said, like I said, Tennessee is winning, so you can't deny that they're winning. They're winning the games. But even like the Arkansas game that Tennessee lost, I mean, that was just so bizarre. You know what I mean? It was so bizarre. It was like just, and I've told you earlier, Tennessee's a gritty team. They're a gritty, figure out ways to win team, and it's just weird. Like this whole season, man. This whole season is just weird. And I'll be honest, like it's hard. Like Chris said, Oregon was his favorite to win the title. It's hard for me to sit there and try to argue that an SEC team can go do it because we all have gaping holes. Like I mean, just like gaping holes that I don't know. I don't know how we overcome, but like I said, we'll see what happens, I guess. Let's see here. I'm excited to see how Milroe handles Death Valley. Yeah. You know, we'll see.
It'll be at night.
Yeah. Everything depends
It's
on
a different
Milroe's.
beast at night.
Everything depends on his willingness to run. If he wants to run, he can do many things. If he wants to run. And I'll say this, like people are like, "Oh yeah, we can stop the run, do this, that." And that. If Milroe wants to run, he can run. The problem is he's too convinced he's trying to be a pocket quarterback. Well, that's what he's trying to do. He can run if he wants to. Like I said, I think he's probably one of the better running quarterbacks I can remember, but I don't know what they're reviewing. I thought it was a first down, but anyway, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how he's going to do. Like I said, I've seen him play as bad as anybody, and then he sits over on the sideline, and Riddle's talking about him shaking his head. And our guy don't look like he gives a shit, so it's totally different. Oh, but anyway, well, we're gonna fill out this game, see how it finishes. Tennessee's about to score, so I mean it's 1st and goal. I think if they score here, it's over, and we're probably Samson. He's tied right now. Can he get this one? It'll set the record. The record stood since 1929.
They get it. They pushed him in like you got it. I guess they gave it to him.
Oh, second effort. Yep.
I thought they were gonna stop his forward progress, but they never did.
Yeah, they gave it to him. Yeah, well, like I said, Tennessee won the game they were supposed to. That's what Tennessee fans want them to do. They'll probably storm the field. This is kind of a Tennessee's MO now. Tennessee's MO would be the 1-5 Kentucky team. We got to storm the field. That's kind of their MO now, but you know. Anyway, Riddle, we're gonna finish up the podcast portion of it. So I'll go to Chris first. Chris, any closing remarks? Anything you want to watch this next upcoming week?
Man, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the Ole Miss Georgia game, and I'm also excited for the Alabama game at LSU. But that's just because I want to watch it. But even though I think we're going to lose, but I'm excited to see the Ole Miss game. I think Ole Miss will give Georgia a pretty good game.
Yeah. Riddle, what you got?
I mean, obviously, you got the two big SEC games that are de facto elimination games that Chris talked about. Another game that I'm really interested to see is Colorado at Texas Tech. Texas Tech had the big win tonight.
Ooh.
Colorado had the bye week to prepare, and we get the return of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. And I spoke Wednesday on what I thought about Shedeur Sanders and why he should be getting Heisman consideration too.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward in Miami goes to Georgia Tech with their defensive struggles. I don't think they lose that game, but I think Cam Ward could have a huge game there. I'm just trying to go through and see our big Heisman guy. Boise State's at home against Nevada. That's a huge opportunity for Genty to have a big game. But yeah, it's Army's at North Texas. Watching Bryson Daly to see if he comes back. But yeah, those are the big things that I'm watching for next week. And I believe South Carolina just scored another touchdown.
Hell yeah. Just go ahead and do
So they're
That's what he's excited about.
Sunday, November 10th.
43 to 20.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
But yeah, just I love college football. I love the parity in college football this year, and that there's a lot of games every week that it seems like you could get a South Carolina beating number 10 Texas A&M type of deal. There's not a lot of those. Looking at next week, Tennessee's at home against Mississippi State. They're 2-7. Washington goes to Penn State, who did lose today. Purdue travels to Ohio State. Iowa State, who needs a bounce back, goes to Kansas. Indiana's at home against Michigan. So it should be a pretty chalk week, but the way college football's went this year, you never know who's going to struggle and when they're going to struggle. And that's the beauty of college football.
Yep. All right. Well, just looking over, I'm very excited to see the playoff rankings announced this week. We will be doing a show live on Tuesday. It will be after the rankings come out, but we will still have the show kind of discussing what we think, of the rankings and everything like that, and what it means moving forward, because we'll look at remaining schedules, things like that. And then obviously we'll do some picks based on those rankings, because those will be the new rankings that'll take over everything. I've got a game I'm going to throw out there. I'm not going to talk about it yet. I'm going to tell you, I got a sneaking suspicion. that Florida State gives old Notre Dame all they can handle. They don't win. But I think Notre Dame's going to walk out of there going, "What the hell just happened?" They're not going to beat Notre Dame, but yeah, because they are bad. But I just got a feeling. And like Chris said, I'm excited to see Alabama go against LSU. I don't think. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet this week. I don't know. I'm not sure who I'm going to go with, who I'm going to pick. But with that said, I do think it'll be an interesting game, and I do think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast. We'll answer a few more questions in the chat. I see some questions coming in, but give me a minute to sign off, and then we'll get right back to it. So thank you for listening this week. For the weekend roundup on Lock, Loaded, and Goated. We'll be back here on Tuesday, 8:30 at night, to review all the weekend's games coming up, and then obviously review the unveiled playoff rankings. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast. We do this for you. We love your feedback. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see everybody soon. And with that said, we will see you guys on Tuesday.
See y'all.
There you go. Yeah. So we're not leaving yet. We're still here. But I just had to have a clear 105 and 239. Mosley, thank you for the follow. So Mosley said, what's Alabama's path to the Natty? Well, it starts with beating LSU.
You got to win out. You got to win out, and you got to have just a little bit of help. And then if you get in, you got to win.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to take a lot, buddy. I'm just going to tell you that. I want Alabama to win as much as anybody, but like I said, we have to put together a consistent game to do that because there won't be any easy ones. I mean, you think about it. Here's the interesting part that no one said out loud yet, and I'm going to say it. When you get to the playoff and you're playing teams that are considered top 10 teams, you know, they're top 10 teams for whatever reason. They've went through the whole season, and these are the best teams that college football has this year. And you're playing them back to back to back to back to back weeks. The only people that have any experience doing that are people in the SEC. No one has any experience playing those great teams back to back to back weeks except SEC teams. I don't care what anybody says. Like Georgia played Florida. I know Florida. You can say whatever you want about Florida, but Florida struggled. They lost their QB, but then they go to Ole Miss. They play Texas. You know, I mean, then they play Tennessee. I mean, like this is the gauntlet that we go through in the SEC all the time. So I think we're going to be in a much more suitable environment to be able to go game to game to game to game. But you know, you never know, man. When you have to do that, that's where depth comes in, and I think the teams that will prevail will be the teams that are deepest. And Oregon is one of those teams. Ohio State's one of those teams. Georgia's one of those teams. So we'll see what happens. Roll Tide, brother. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna hope, man. We're gonna hope. That's all we can do. Like I said, you can't have it every year. I'll say that. You can't win every year. Sometimes it's just not yours. Over under 0.5 interceptions for Beck next week. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, over. Yeah.
I heard something about Beck interceptions next week.
Over under 0.5 interceptions for Beck next week.
Over. I mean, he's kind of got a trend going, and
yeah, you stick with the trends.
This is liable to turn into a shootout game. And I was looking earlier at Tennessee or Georgia's rushing stats again, and kind of trying to judge who was playing, who was off, yada yada. And I know LSU was off, so we'll move ahead of LSU in rushing yards for the year. But I believe that's the only person we'll move past this week, so we'll still be 15th in the SEC in total rushing yards.
It's something to be proud of, Riddle. You need to hang your head high with that one, okay?
Yeah, I sure do.
Quit being such a Debbie
with
Downer.
With the history of running backs that have come through Georgia, and you know how we've always opened up the passing game with the run game. We're not doing that this year, and I think Beck's really struggling with it.
Yeah.
Which I gave my whole spiel on that again, and I really don't want to get amped up again. So,
dude, South Carolina straight dog walked these guys,
beat the piss out of them.
Yeah, but I will say this. Like I said, we're going to sign off in a second, but I will say this year has been anything but boring. I know we've said there's some boring teams, boring games, but the whole season, how it's progressed, has been very exciting. James says, do you remember Herschel Walker? I mean, we're all very familiar with Herschel Walker. He played at Georgia before any of us were alive, but we do remember him. Sorry, I thought I heard something.
Oh yeah, we still do our homework, and we've watched the clips, and we definally know who he is. So I just want to say this real quick for our picks.
Mm-hmm.
Through the 2:30 games, everybody was doing great. 6:30 and later games, everybody's going to miss. Well, Chris is only going to miss 2 of them, but everybody else is going to miss 3 of them.
Did Chris win again?
A&M. No, I'm pretty sure me, you, and Chris are going to end up tied.
Fuck you, Chris. How about
That's
that?
2 weeks in a row, baby.
He said we're
The
tied.
three of
bitch.
us are going to tie this week. So let me go ahead and mark these. A&M lost. Clemson lost.
So Wyatt asked, do you think the Vandy loss or Louisiana Monroe was a more embarrassing loss as a Bama fan? So I'm always going to say, I'm going to say Monroe. Vanderbilt's still an SEC school. So that's always going to be my take.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vanderbilt was the most surprising. If you're asking that, the Vanderbilt was the most surprising loss out of the two because no one expected that. But James,
And can I just say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no! If you're going to continue on with that, go ahead.
I was just going to say that.
Totally
I was going to say Mosley's keeps bringing up the old players. In the off season, we actually have we have some shows that we're going to dedicate to going over our best players and best positions and things like that in college football. So the off season, we're going to have some of that.
South Carolina just stormed the field.
Okay.
Hey man,
It's their largest margin of victory against an AP
All
top
right.
10 team.
all right,
It's
chat.
like
we
40-something.
got Wyatt, we got Mosley, we got y'all in the chat. Does Tennessee storm the field when they beat Kentucky?
No.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm beginning to think it's part of their tradition.
I think they will. Honestly, I think they will.
I'm just saying, man.
I think they will.
If they do that, they better.
They do it to everybody, man.
If they do it
So,
against. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I got this.
Wyatt's agreeing. He's saying the goalpost is going to come down. I agree.
Look at all the red at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't anticipate.
But we're still going to go. The three of us are still going to go 10-5 this week, and then looks like Tony missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going to go 8-7, and then Jordan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to go 9-6.
That's right. Listen to us if you want to win. No, but with that said, guys, Wyatt said the goalpost is going down. I'm gonna get off here. We're gonna get off here. Does Riddle have a wrist brace on from watching too many Stetson Bennett compilations? This is, oh my god, that is a that's the quote of the night right there, boys. That's the quote of the night.
Build that man a statue already, damn it.
Love the show, fellas. Hey, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Tennessee just got a huge stop on 4th down, so Tennessee's going to probably get some more
20.
points. They'll drive the score up. They'll
No. We don't need any more points from Tennessee. No. Because if Tennessee covers this spread, I'm buying a biscuit Monday morning.
Oh.
No, it's 17 and a half, though, right? I think 17.
Yeah, but they're on their own 40.
We got it at 15.5.
They're on their own 40, Riddle. The
And
problem is
if Tennessee loses, then JT buys the biscuit.
you might be buying a biscuit because if I know Johnny No Chins, he's gonna try to put some points on the board.
I would love to see him try to throw the ball here and Nico throw a pick six.
Me too.
Me too.
I would love that.
More than likely, Sampson's just gonna get carries and.
I just ran with Samson.
Yeah, and they're not gonna be able to stop him. They'll probably at least get a field goal. Johnny No Chins is gonna do all he can.
Well, I'm hoping he just runs this down to the 2-minute warning right here and then just starts kneeing it out.
Because I don't think there's
Just
any
run
bad
it out.
blood between Heupel and Stoops. Not that I know of.
God, they're still trying to get over the hedges. They're ripping the hedges down at South Carolina. Holy hell.
I gotta go watch this.
All them big old sweat hogs trying to get over the damn
Sweat hogs, them big old sweat
trying
hogs.
to get over the damn hedges there, and they're ripping down the hedges as they go.
Oh yeah,
It's just pandemonium in South Carolina.
Pandemonium, he says.
All right. And on that note, we're going to leave with one more comment. And the comment is, too bad Pardo can only be happy for a day. He has to watch the Titans play tomorrow. And yeah, that is
I guarantee you
correct.
he's not happy right now.
He's not happy.
Fuming right now. And this is the second time this year that he's promised us that if Tennessee didn't win by 3 touchdowns, he would come on here and air his displeasure, and he didn't even show up tonight. So
Yes. So everyone needs to give Tony Pardo shit because Tony was supposed to be on the show and he failed to show up and execute and take his
Again.
They still won. I don't know why, you know what I mean? Like, they still won.
Hey, like Tony says, a win's a win.
A win's a win. That's his famous quote.
No, that's Jordan. Tony's like, if you don't win by 3 scores, I'm going to be pissed.
That's true.
All right. Anyway, guys, we're going to get off here.